As we know, inflation affects everyone. It influences, among others, how much food costs in the market, how much transport we pay, how businesses price their products, and how government plans its budget. That's why the Ghana Statistical Service is committed not only to publishing these numbers, but also to explaining them clearly, honestly, and transparently. But before we look at the numbers, let me briefly explain two key terms that will recur in our presentation today. Year-on-year inflation compares prices in a given month with prices in the same month 1 year earlier. It answers a simple question: how much more or less expensive are goods and services today compared to a year earlier? Month-on-month inflation compares prices in 1 month with prices in the immediately preceding month. It tells us what happened to prices over the most recent month. Both measures are very important when it comes to inflation. Year-on-year inflation shows longer-term trend, while month-on-month inflation helps us understand short-term price movements. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now look at the highlights for the January 2026 CPI and inflation. In January 2026, Ghana's Consumer Price Index stood at 262.3, up from 252.6 in January 2025. This increase in the index translates into a year-on-year inflation rate of 3.8%. In plain language, this means that, on the average, prices were 3.8% higher in January 2026 than they were in January 2025. On a month-on-month basis, inflation was 0.2%, meaning prices increased by 0.2% between December 2025 and January 2026. The January 2026 inflation rate of 3.8% is significant for several reasons. First, it is down from the 5.4% recorded in December 2025, representing a 1.6 percentage point decline in 1 month. Second, it marks the 13th consecutive month of decline in inflation. Third, it is the lowest inflation rate recorded since the CPI rebasing in 2021. And finally, when we compare this figure to what occurred the same period last year, which is a year ago, that's January 2025, when inflation stood at 23.5%, we see a 19.7 percentage point reduction in inflation. This sustained decline signals that Ghana is firmly on a path towards price stability. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at inflation by components. Let us now look at food inflation, because food matters most to households, as we all know. In January 2026, year-on-year food inflation was 3.9%, down from 4.9% in December 2025. This tells us that food prices are rising much more slowly than they were a few months ago. On a month-on-month basis, food prices increased by 1.1% between December 2025 and January 2026. This likely reflects seasonal factors, including post-harvest adjustments, higher demand at the beginning of the year, among others. The key message here, ladies and gentlemen, is that food inflation remains moderate, even though short-term pressures persist. Now let's turn to non-food inflation. The improvement is even more striking when we look at non-food inflation. Non-food inflation declined from 5.8% in December 2025 to 3.9% in January 2026. More importantly, on a month-on-month basis, non-food prices fell by 0.4%. This means that prices of items such as petrol, diesel, baby diapers, gas, and charcoal, which all belong to the category of non-food inflation, actually declined over the month. This decline played a major role in keeping overall inflation low. Now let's look at inflation for goods and then versus inflation for services. So when we split inflation into goods and services, we see further evidence of easing price pressures. Inflation for goods slowed to 3.6% year on year, down from 5.8% in December 2025. Month on month, goods prices largely remained the same between December 2025 and January 2026. This matters because goods account for nearly 3/4 of the CPI basket. So usually when goods inflation slows, most consumers immediately feel the relief directly. This is because it constitutes a very significant proportion of their basket. For services, inflation eased from 4.5% in December 2025 to 4.0% in January 2026, with a 0.3% month-on-month price increase in January 2026 relative to December 2025. Another important dimension is a difference between locally produced items and imported items. Inflation for locally produced items fell from 5.9% in December 2025 to 4.5% in January 2026. Inflation for imported items declined even more sharply from 4.3% to 2.0% over the same period. This possibly reflects improved exchange rate stability, easing global price pressures, and better alignment between domestic and external markets. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's now look at what is happening in the regions. Inflation does not affect all regions equally. In January 2026, this region recorded the highest year-on-year inflation at 11.2%, up from 9.8% recorded in December 2025, while the Savannah region recorded the lowest at negative 2.6%, down from negative 1.2% in December 2025. Thus, in January 2026, whilst prices reduced by 2.6% year-on-year in Savannah, prices increased by 11.2% year-on-year in Northeast region. On a month-on-month basis, the Northeast region again recorded the highest increase of 2.4%, while the Western region recorded the lowest at negative 1.5%. Thus, between December 2025 and January 2026, prices increased by 2.4% in Northeast, while they reduced by 1.5% in the Western region. These differences point largely to variations in local supply conditions, transport costs, and market access across regions. When we look at contributions, a small number of regions account for a large share of overall inflation. The top 5 regional contributors, namely Greater Accra, Ashanti region, Eastern region, Western region, and Volta, together accounted for 82% of the total inflation we recorded in January 2026, while the 5 regions with the highest inflation rates requires region-specific solutions, not one-size-fits-all policies. Now, let's turn to items actually driving inflation. The top 5 contributors to inflation at the item level are charcoal, green plantain, smoked herrings, cinema and cultural services, and ginger. And these 5 items accounted for about 52% of the overall inflation recorded in January 2026. If you extend this to the top 10 contributors, we are talking about the top 10 contributing about 79% to the overall inflation rate of 3.8% in January 2026. The bottom 5 low inflation items, namely Garden Eggs, which recorded an inflation rate of negative 58.7%, meaning that the price level of garden eggs reduced by 58.7%. Fried plantain, which recorded an inflation rate of negative 50.7%. Cocoyam leaves, or contumely, yes, which recorded an inflation rate of negative 49.1%. Pawpaw, which recorded an inflation rate of negative 46.9%. And fresh tomatoes, which recorded an inflation rate of negative 42.5%, altogether dragging inflation down by 24%. I'll take this again. The bottom 5 low inflation items, namely garden eggs with inflation rate of negative 58.7%, meaning that the general price level in relation to garden eggs reduced by 58.7% between January 2025 and January 2026. Fried fish, inflation rate of negative 50.7%. Cocoyam leaves, or contumely, inflation rate of negative 49.1%. Pawpaw, with inflation rate of negative 46.9%. And fresh tomatoes, with inflation rate of negative 42.5%. Altogether, dragged inflation down by 24%. The top 5 highest inflation items recorded double-digit inflation. These items are ginger, which recorded an inflation rate of 72.3%. Green plantain at 67.9%. Charcoal at 53.7%. Shrimps at 48.8%. And cashew at 47.2%. Together, these items contributed 33.4% to the overall inflation of 3.8%. So this makes, ladies and gentlemen, explain why overall inflation remains low despite increases in selected items. Let's look at the drivers of the January 2026 inflation. Food contributed the most to inflation despite the drop in food inflation, followed by housing and utilities, clothing and footwear, recreation, sports and culture, and education services. To summarize, the key drivers of inflation in January 2026 from the data are: 1, moderate increases in food prices; 2, declining non-food prices; 3, slowing goods inflation; 4, easing imported price pressures; and 5, persistent but localized regional disparities. Together, these factors produce a low and stable inflation outcome in the month of January 2026. Now, what are the key takeaways from the release of the January 2026 CPI and inflation? The data tell a very clear story. Inflation has fallen sharply and consistently over the year. Price pressures are easing across most components of the CPI. While challenges remain, particularly in some regions and food categories, the overall trend is positive. This creates space for planning, confidence, and recovery. In summary, in terms of numbers, we are talking about January 2026 recording an inflation rate of 3.8%. Food inflation at 3.9%, non-food inflation at 3.9% as well. Goods inflation at 3.6%. Services inflation at 4%. Inflation for locally produced items at 4.5%. And then we have regional differences, which shows that Northeast recorded the highest inflation at 11.2%, and Savannah recorded the lowest at negative 2.6%. Ladies and gentlemen, based on this data, we'd like to make a number of recommendations. For government, it's important to sustain the fiscal discipline, continue efforts to stabilize food prices, and invest in storage, irrigation, transport, and market access to reduce regional disparities. For businesses, easing inflation provides room to invest in efficiency, strengthen local supply chains, reduce unnecessary costs, and translate savings into more stable prices for consumers. For households, this is a good time to plan budget with greater confidence, prioritize essentials, avoid non-essential spending, and save where possible. Before I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express the Ghana Statistical Service's sincere appreciation to those who provided data, the market readers, the media, whose cooperation and professionalism made this work possible. I also want to take this opportunity to commend the hardworking staff of the Ghana Statistical Service, whose dedication ensures that these statistics meet the highest professional standards. Let me also affirm, or let me say reaffirm, the Ghana Statistical Service's commitment to providing timely, accurate, relevant, and credible statistics to support evidence-based decision-making and national development. We remain guided by objectivity, transparency, and independence in everything we do. Thank you very much for your attention.
Mesamo kwa babiom edeba TV XYZ so baby wo bia ne nchia kese enkoma ye papa me ba cho wa utie Power 97.9 FM so me kwa ba edeba inside politics jumedie so me kwa ba ende akoye eye Wednesday 4th of February 2026 we her time na abo eye 3:25 papa in the studios of TV XYZ baby wo bia mo kwa ba so te care mu na wutie me wo fie na wutie me ana wo hwa me wo adwumam na wutie me ana wo hwa me a nchi akese enkomo no meka nso twedi ampo nyankopon na somdwen enka ho ebebre say wetumi ehwe the biggest political platform ever show wo Ghana ha your friend inside politics when you say a social political show dia obi ani endi chempe second to none inside politics jumedie ni manya selfish kacho ne bi na no so kanche ni bi na mo to TV XYZ your digital platform no so free to wear we betumi ahwe dwumedie bi etie bi sa so na me pacho bebre wo call satellite TV multi TV digibox no so betumi ahwe TV XYZ wo so a we di baji ye na we tie nsempa na wa hwe nsempa me ekoso o man Ghana ye call but Facebook and I say you call online streaming platforms so me patch of Facebook Power 979 FM Power 979 FM ubetumi ahwe tie dwumedie bi oso TV XYZ Ghana no so ubetumi tie ahwe dwumedie bi oso ni na Facebook and TikTok you call YouTuber XYZ Broadcasting YouTube XYZ Broadcasting no so ubetumi ahwe dwumedie bi etie bi woso kama na baby to me ako enkai papa me patch you call TV and I say you call radio your Power 979 FM menim say wo ba the nation's capital Accra Power 979 FM dodo na na pempem hwe anamutie wo Power 97.9 FM wo Accra ne Mpotem wo got some part of Eastern, Ashanti, the Western and the Central regions omu na 97.9 megahertz and Power FM so wo call multi TV Digibox audio channel wo betumi etie dwumadi ne bi was so na number of radio station omo ye affiliate omo afa dwumadi bi no so wo betumi ate yenka ebi Lemble ye Lemble nim popatema 100.3 West End Radio Lemble enyina se axim ne potem na omutie West End Radio na 100.3 at the demo hopper papa in the Western region ye ba Western Regional Capital second day Takrade the Twin City the Oil City the Harbour City ajini na aboso sharp 106.9 maminchia na beyin pencil wo to say minchia skido manager Albert mo to say wo sharp 106.9 omofa dwumadi bia no so menu anum mo second takrade ne potem omutie dwumadi bi ho ye twene hwi na ye ba half original capital go so na make say nananum 92.5 FM the station with the greatest ambition ono so afa dwumadi bia mo amwo half ne potem nyina omutie nananum 92.5 FM woko isunafo sauta sankore ho ne edunum radio wo edunum radio edidemo sankore ne potem isunafo south kukuom ne echese boakon ne echese abuom ne ade nyina no omutie edunum radio edidemo ho a mpempemutie some part of Western North so etie edunum radio ntie mamu nyina akwa aba ahafo de age atumunti ye ba dua nkwanta ho na charity 99.9 FM Tano North omuso afa dwumadi bi ye Betano South high radio eso afa bi wo bechem ne Mpotem edidem ye twenu mi na ye ko Bono region na ye ko Doma West Nkrankwanta border town enti wo ko Doma Hinkro Wemfie ansa na Nkrankwanta na nkasa wo rebrekum ni ade na omutie Ensoma radio some part of Ivory Coast so etie Ensoma radio enti ni na inside politics the demo hosa ye ko Savannah region Angligi FM wo bole make us say the demo hopa me yencheche enuanom omo wo Savannah region bole ne Mpotemina mutie wo Ngiligi FM yentwebhwi nko yentwebhwi nko Oti region so Buem FM Buem ne Mpotem honorable Daniel Kwesi Ashama Dawomanti Buem FM di dema amoso afa dwumadi bia mpempem etie wo Buem ene ne Mpotem sa so na Jasekan eniwase radio sa afa bi wo Jasekan ne Mpotem wo di Oti region ye ba the southern part Volta region ho na Volta Power 94.1 FM ono so afa dwumadi bia mpempem etie bi wo Volta na from Mantom ne Mpotem Global FM so wo who are no so afa dwumadi bi and san a number of affiliate radio stations agiatum inside politics dwumadi omu ina na afa bi ampempromote information centers de no twen huni say bebre na etie mekọ Kotokraba ogwa ogwa akoto dwodo ba wogu no to anu a Cape Coast Kotokraba Adom Sounds me ti that we anu ati muni anu ogwafo me chechi ahwana papa me jize de onhunyi wonhunye papa bibia da bokọ bia bibia da ku na ho asamanyen enti eyimu nyina no afa dwumadi ampempem etie mesama wakwaba de ba inside politics dwumadi ne so edia me de so Nicholas Yao owusu Yorson obetumi afra mekin Nicholas mamemfa asida PSC asida modu emfema the production team omobo machidom mamedi dwumadi bro Mr. Kelvin Asante oyedi the executive producer for the show. So also the TV director, Mr. Ralph Jampo, and also a director affairs. Obeti so si poli. Enti Oshehwa and also or director affairs wo ho. Nechiriba and also niwa mohrenechi ora eye Peter Cranton, and also our ho Elder Peter. Oro kaswane in Potema, Odima Koteno Church of Pentecost mpa. Oho nini Abbas so ho Abbas Rosikayu and yet CCT TV Nigeria Abbas 10,000 Ghana cedis ye do esuko nyame na age wate Abbas ma weni nyedin yo sasona sound we be hu Mr. Emmanuel Nete abodo se mba dodo adamfo fie ha ono ni Emmanuel Nete opemba adamfo dodo saa netie ni nua Emmanuel Kisiso obone side me ba dem ho a wo ba cameras a wo be hu Uncle Willie. And then me bed you mean you share Chelsea 1-0 on Kasai because when you say or the form to wayedin Liverpool for yena yeko to ned on Kasai Uncle Willie waha saso na nunia Kofi the boy Frankie on also okan ho say siade when you need to Kofi the boy non pe yen friend Mr. Frank Asante and our friend Kofi Asante na kuma beto ni yempa obi a we sie me kama ma me dia betena ha me nua ba Elizabeth Tego o say came Mr. Osime Junction we do junction so for me room sa no te me hu se me nua ketewa me nua kuma me na fita krade enti de me na te me na fita krade na ye ba ha mampon boy we do takrade a wo fa wo fa wo so mampon ho no she ono so wa stress Francis ono so ha Francis will say ono so come on mu twa me cameras no ene wo a wotie fie a wo hwe me wo adwuma baby a wo bi a wotie mi ana wo hwe me bia wonni ho a ye ni ho enti me ne wo na ye be di dwuma yi anti de atene no ye from King Nicholas wo the chief driver na ka ho na we kuma kura na ade ba ko a me boss one say ye si dwuma die no so ne say empanimfo ma mo ani nkɔ ho afajato in the Volta region afajato forest no says ya bimu the doma machine sim mo twitwa meshe da chine ko meyi pictures no videos na we hu yenim say afajato forest in forest reserve but mika say ko for the doma machine ya de wura afajatom omutwendua saa so no ko ebrisu botanical gardens wo so no so ko fu twendua nti embrepam no me be yese adwuma no na wo so hu se ye forest reserve ahoro wa ye gya no enye galamse nko a ebi mu so tumi kwahwem omode ye chenso kotwetwendua ene meka ho na mpanifo mo madwene nko afajato forest no omasha asi twam ndua saa so na ebrisu no so nkofo kwasha na omotwendua ne bi ni na no yenim senche nya de se yetwam ndua na eba ne sen embrepem me de ho videos beba meyi anti we no maka ye catch forestry commission so mo gas ne mpanifo ne ni nkɔ because afaja to yetwam ndua saa so na ebriso saa niama no ekoso ho nti ebe srem mpanifo se omomo mani nkɔ ho na bibia entumi enkonkan na bibia enhye papa na yesi kwemo dia na 2 weeks ago Gold Board and a Gold Coast Refinery omo refined gold no moye an a historic agreement to be omo be refining gold locally and to say she an gold no you be refining gold wo ya ye man mu see Odima Gold Board state say Ghana's daily export no say she ano 1 ton of gold na say she ano ombe shipo no ma refining ni nyina wa ha with a minimum priority of 99.9% nti say si gold no say be export kra 1% per enkai na ye ni na wa ha na chese bibia etumi akọ enkai nti Gold Coast Refinery omo be ye first ton of refined gold ye Ghana ha no ni na no betumi akọ enkai nti be witness by finance minister Kissel Ato Folsom oni si Odima Gold Board Yera Same Jemfi yankwe na yankwohwe abro omobore mu na yenkotie nsema omudu tu dwa efa no Gold Board in Gold Coast Refinery sign on my sign says yade you gold you verify no my Ghana yenkotie nsem nembra.
On behalf of the government and the people of Ghana, congratulate the Ghana Gold Board for an excellent work done, and also to thank the Gold Coast Refinery working with the Rand Refinery. We have seen that clearly the vision of His Excellency the President has been implemented. In 2016, His Excellency the President John Mahama, was here to officially open the Gold Coast Refinery with a vision to begin refining Ghana's gold. 8 years on, when he left office in 2016, the then administration never implemented the vision of the government and the people of Ghana. We came back to office in 2025. And in January 2025, during His Excellency the President's first State of the Nation address, he signaled the formation of the Ghana Gold Board, which was an anchor in our manifesto. In fact, Parliament passed the Ghana Gold Board Act in the first half of the year. So activities of Gold Board actually began in May, and I think May, June, April. And so since then, we've been working to buy ASM gold for the purposes of shipping, exporting them, and bringing the forest into our country. Gold Board, I'm sure you can all see the benefits of Ghana Gold Board. It is revolutionary and it is visionary. It has changed the landscape of the gold industry in our country. It is touted all over the world as a novelty. And today we are here to celebrate another milestone of the Ghana Gold Board. Clearly, this company, Ghana Gold Coast Refinery, has the ability to refine up to 2 tons of gold per day, per week. Gold Board has agreed to provide them 1 ton of gold per week for refinery. This will be scaled up to 2 tons per week in no time. Today, Gold Board has the capacity to buy 2.5 tons on average per week of gold. It is our policy to ensure that in the shortest possible time, we will not be exporting raw gold outside this country. This refinery today that has the capacity to do 2 tons, and now with an understanding that we'll begin with 1 ton per week, has employed approximately 162 workers. And they are adding value to our gold. They are going to operate 24 hours in line with our 24-hour economy policy at the airport.
Enti anona yehu no honorable Dr. Kesel Ato Forson onona yehu odi yete ne nka bro kasa edi afa Gold Coast Refine ho nti moma yenhye ne so say unu say first no Ghana gold no yenhye gold ndi papa ye the gold ni fi ha na ye de akọ abrochi mem ana ye de akọ baby e be akọ refine ye sign de aba say gudi bi na ye de be ya ye de be jewelry ahrowa na ya sign abedi abeye but say sia ne de ye de gold in buy na ya refine in bibia wa ha e che say enya de a gold na ho de wom ne so ti de biara da 99.9% inti say sia no ye mfa nkonko refine baby an sam fam babium e ya de a ye be refine ni nyina wo Ghana ha na jewelry sadie nya no ye de ayen pepepe nti bibia di gold ye wo Ghana ha bia no se efi ha kwa abrochi mema ekodwaman so a eye gold na ho de na wo pepepe sana refine mfaso a ede bro man Ghana ni nti we yade a no so ede mfaso de ede abayi papa yekotia ma doctor Kesel Ato Forson de ora sami de mfiso okasa wo ho a yenkotie na yenhwe no so na de mra. Okay, nti ye kwadia ano aye finance minister Dr. Kissel Atoforsen oni aye Urasa Mejemfi no gina hobia ye tin nka no na ye ko ye nima ye hu aye recent media briefing bia na me pacho the leadership in parliament ye hu say omaye press conference bi omne president komo na me be pie minister Kotoka International Airport Ebebai say ye be rename no abeye no eye Accra International Airport. Now we na ede ensem bebre ede aba bi mo say omonte ase de enti no say ye change eye Kotoka International Airport no. Na make us say eye press statement efi eye National Development Planning Commission eye Volta Regional Commissioner no your friend Dr. Alec Plim eye Kwabla eye Apetogbo ono no diaba na nsem o peso che nyina ne se hu hia doctor Apetowei o che se wetutu kwan o ya de ono no wetutu kwan ni ade a we hu se ye wo international airport ahrowa hia se yesesa din ne ye no ana se ye na Accra International Airport ne hu hia akwantu ahrowa wetutu nyina no hu hia nti che yenkoso nye no Kotoka International Airport and also na ye say Accra no and painful chess Accra ne ye capital na eno no so say the Accra no to so eboa ye de sell city no maybe be to me konkan na obi be say owre ya odi anim ya ye friend no doctor eye Eliknem Kwabla eye Apetogbe ono no ye commissioner edema eye Volta region eye rep wo ono no da so no obi be so ye hwan na oye hwan dia na ye ma ono no da so no eye Dr. Eliknem Kwabla eye Apetogbo ono no ye commissioner edema eye National Development Planning Commission ye twa so kan NDPC obi be bisa se papa oye hwan oye obi a no ye see odema independent eye power generators of Ghana since 2019 na an appointment no so 2019 na papa onya eye se dwumen o didi man ti se ye hwema na echesa papa na nkasa no MPP time no nya an appointment no inti how wodi agina mu de press statement aba o ye chenchina mama ye sisa din no mama ye sisa din ni na no ade a metene se oye MPP su onimu no ye MPP ni inti no de statement by nsam okay na afenyo market say hey of what papa nsam so pa na ye be hu se minority ne side no kra no afa yon market na be cancer nunua kodwo opon kroma sese aha ye fua so atam ne ye simple enya se bi asabiwa obi ye bibi na yakase Kotoka Fivo 20 na ye pese no sa statement o de buy crunch obetumi suggest say ye change ya na Accra International Airport dia why senche His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ni nimdie emu ne vision nti or the airport abre eye Volta the people good people of Volta region ebe hia senche o airport kwa ye betumi e de Kotoka din aba ye woni ama bebre a ehia asenche wono wo boa efa na National Development Plan Commission wo dan wo Volta here development ahro suggest man for na beka ho asem into owura Eliknem eye Kwabla Apetogbo enye mehiani me pese ka che woni se enye mehiani wadwuma ese wo yen se Volta region betumi tumpon 2019 no office MPP aban no office tie kire bibi papa bi a wayama the good people of Volta region enyama bebre and then nsu efe nkra horo the southern part of the Volta and so paying to me suggesting can be papa bia ekwan yo betumi afa develop ye nuanom eye Volta region me hia no na papa we asole e di statement aba ono no da so no MPP for no appointing no enti ono no why na adwene se maban be ye bia ban papa ba John Dramani Mahama obeye bia de aboa man no sama majority leader de betu dwa no okaye no ono no be oppose enti se papa we oppose sa de na mama nye hu enti no this statement tenten aba na wetutu kwan okwa onime airport ahoro ankofu din na deda so but den na ye bisa owura Apetowei ye bisa doctor ye bisa ne say wetumi ahwe a plan ma ye develop Volta region ye bisano with the statement we aba the background no or ye MPP ni mapa or say ohwe na nche development eba eye voter region cause appointment no nya na dwuma no muntie ni yo na dwuma so ohwe mampuntu otumi ba eye voter region no de dem statement ten edi aba medikan aka say we call the southern part of the voter region yenim insu a ha nkofo ho onfa suggestion bi ambaye we now this statement ten a good TV see odi abeto ho oh say hey media mama can say enye me hia ni owura na be crown resign fin position because nanka say we deviate na enye me hia ni dear development na wahwe e dey abre the good people of voter region woni bibia kan kotoka sema ye change name na ye na kra no so just say oh kotoka ye nua voter ni impo say ye fi international airport e won kranso a monfembra voter regional capital ho ye betumi dey atoso because a whole international airport and a whole airport want to win kai wo buy office wo office 2019 kire yen development I was suggested the previous government in promoting or the abra the good people of voter yenim niama akoso of voter here development wo so was said the edwuma e dia hye won sa no say di na febua eye voter region won na we voter rep commissioner nso wonya hu emfembo voter region wo sole ya na wakotwe statement ten na wo di aba yanko tie minority leader of parliament so ono so disagree e fa ne name no yeyi efi ye international airport e wa Accra na ye na Accra international airport no na nsemo kaka ne de yanko tie asema afenyo marken kai embra
that all these years we've had this Kotoka, General Kotoka's name on the airport, and suddenly this being changed. What is it? After it's Kotoka International Airport, Accra. So Accra is still there. I'm not suggesting any other name. I'm saying that the name Kotoka International Airport, Accra is already there. Accra is already there. So you don't need to remove Kotoka's name from there. So if you come to Accra or even in the country, how many prominent Votarians have their names on national assets or national monuments? This is the only thing the people of Volta region can also at least see as something that recognizes heroism from the Volta region. And that one too, they are being denied. Well, Honorable Kwame Abuja is from Volta. Honorable Ukujeta Blakwa, he's from Volta and he's sitting in cabinet. Honorable Fifi Kwete is the General Secretary of NDC from Volta region. Honorable Ahiafo, he is the first Deputy Speaker in this government from Volta region. Honorable Kwame Eche, the Femepo, Majority Chief with from Volta region. And they are all sitting down watching the government to take away a Votarian's name, which has been given to our airport, and successive government never made any attempt to change it. And in this time and age, they are from Volta and they are in the government and they are watching Volta to lose its pride. It's up to them.
Tanya dia vote be losing pride bia and na dia afenyo marking Votarian and I say ofi Volta region mo no na why mouthpiece of voter eye me hu keke afenyo marking and na dia obobodin obobo aboje obobodin say na mu gina ho ebe ora afenyo marking na nsenya nkofo bobo na opapa fi voter ni na wo sha da kotwe si bi ho na de afenyo na ekasa ama voter region asemi nyina ya chechema eya asem papa onwo anim but opeso ye bibia asesi ameka say ijeje ni chem edeje ni chema ohu se wankasa bia ifi kojo upon kroma baba be minority leader because oraba umia company che say kwanya afa yo mo gu o mani mase o eye winiba no efutu no anhwa na afenye be sesanti sesi asem bia kwa na akra afenyo asem bia kwa afeso mfama nuntum memfama nuntum because sesi ankasa ni jaja ni chem ake me kokwaso nsan hwa na yin makodwo opon kroma be minority leader into okabi wano kai and afenyo obekasa ama voter the good people of voter region omuni momoku when yadia eye tweka twem enti ase wom and afenyo ma kempeso obehyentem no ni papa ya ye frɛ no eye Dr. Eric Plim kwabla aspect of we eheda kambom ko MPP fo mienu na omo ye bibi say nkofo de confusion beba omo pese omo ye bibi kasa aban because aban fibie ni no to omo pese omo create bibi bada enye ye Ghana Avenue obie ni ma afenyo wa adwen obie ni musu ntanya wo na ne wo bekasa odo voter region fo obie ni mtima wo ye bubo wo colleagues ago na omo parliament fo na obie propaganda wa be shim enam se woni papa ne konaive ode bae nti wa betaye ti obie tanye we na ebe soso hwe a renaming of Kotoka International Airport ebeko Accra International Airport make say transport minister so ode okay yan kwotie ni nua akodo opon kroma so oni na na wo minority on say make say make ake anhwa na opon kroma be minority leader ono so akasa say no of waso so say omusisandi no yan kwotie enti ma obeko na ma obeba no so ma odi atuja yenti sansem numra.
Welcome, Honorable. Just a quick question.
Well, what's up?
Okay, so the Kotoka International Airport has been changed to Accra International Airport. About to be changed.
Yeah.
Yes. Please, what are your views on that?
I think it's a good idea. I'll support it.
You support the name change?
Second?
You support the name change?
I do. I support it. I think that it should be known as the Accra International Airport.
Okay. So you think it's a step in the right direction?
I think so. I'll support it.
Ene da hono. Enze se si afenya so support it. Kodwo opon kroma so support it. Eno na me ka kire wo se ake metene se anhwa minority no leadership ne besesa and say si an obi so support obi so support but wa wo de kom adwendwim na wo dwen ho a ntirema ewo mu ne kire se yes sana yeye obto asom obi ansori nkan bibia sankofu mienu ya anso muntumi mbo ayemfa development bi ambra voter region afenyo sole na obobo onu nuanum din obia nim asem omodo to ho ne ntirem no eto asum amenu na yenim se sanete yenkoden kotie transport minister so en nkommode to dwa ayeye rename of Kotoka International Airport ensem okaye enya de political motivated bia se obi share se politics na pese no asem o chirem no eto asum mama yenti transport minister Embra.
Now the situation is like that we are not doing this with any political thinking. We are doing this to come from a very neutral point of view that Accra is our capital city. It is not anybody's name. If we want to name other monuments or any other national facilities to people, this is the time that we are looking at restructuring them. For the fact that we had a name and it was changed to honor somebody in his role in the 1966 coup, we feel that that history is not what the Ghanaian will want to hear. The fact that it had an original name, and that name was when the first president gave that name to the airport, we should do that, and Kwame Nkrumah himself in his grave will remember, even if the spirit is anywhere and it is coming home, it will get to his original Accra International Airport, no any other name.
Enti my transport minister no so ode ensemno atudwa na akire say we de anya de a obi hye akire ana say ye ensese bi a ye for politics anai ya de a mom de abatudwa no eto asum enti ye nyina ye gitum so mo sesa na afenyo ma ken ne Eric Plim owura Eric Plim tobo de mo no mu ni mo mpese o mo kanti yenja o mo na yenko yenim. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama we ko pie mu Zambia na the Zambian National Assembly no ekudi enkomo na yankwahwe abra His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on the First Lady Maame Lodina Mahama mo arrive was Zambia wo a 3-day state visitor odukopie mo no yankonkwahwe na yanhwe a key highlight of the visit no okopie mo ne National Assembly of Zambia edidi nkita ho yankwe na yankwahwe emfonyini benti sa wo hwa His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na wekopie wo Zambia no okoduru airport ono na yehwe no ode ono Zambia share Ghana's vision for more integrity and prosperous Africa poster ono so de tudwa oni omu edinkomo akasa akre Zambian National Assembly no na ensemble na no de tudwa address World Government Summit so enseme so na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ne visit no vision Africa ye nyina ne pese bema ye Africa no na etumo konkan na ekonanim efa na transport infrastructure trade links and free movement of people and goods no so odikedi in konmo papa efa no hold ye be hold bilateral talks with yenuanom mo Zambia president no mo akasa afa ekwan be strengthen trading infrastructure and regional cooperation ho His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ono na mepacho bebre we kopie mu Zambia no oni obapa obakona kono ye First Lady Madam Lodina Mahama yehu se omu ekufiem wo obiman so Zambia Lusaka make us say empenifo amo Ghana community and also Zambia na ehu omu so omu kita flag no mo 20 Zambia empenifo no ma welcome His Excellency John Dramani kama pama bibi etumi akonka His Excellency John Dramani Mahama proud Ghanaian washe ni fugu kama one ne wife edru ha yehu no say make us say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama adia we kopie mu obi man so wo Zambia me pacho bebre omukodi kita ho kama pa ye ne Zambia yankofa ebetumi aye kamanti 3-day state visit na odie kopiem wo Zambia anti de ateno no yenhwe ha wo obia pese omuchia no because we have vision papa odi ama man Ghana ne ma ekoso smooth Zambia fo ne se papa bro beboa yen na be cheche kwan pa also the fast so nti Zambia yenuanom His Excellency kopie mo ho a omukodi nkoma ebetumi ama your friend saying ye nkita ho a ye no omuzi no aye kama fan infrastructure trade ne meka ho nti de ateno no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama kopie mo ho na mbepam no meyi na se betie ensema odi koto dwa ne bi wo ho na yehuma ekoso wo ho nti bebi adri mo bo aye ma ye de monologue bai na no Victory Garlic Mixture. You be kwatie Dr. Simanum na yeba yatoa dwumadi no so.
Enua Victory Garlic Mixture na watini binati ati ni se na edro ni tie. Na no pasem ne se edro wi adwuma ye titru pa ne se ebeboa ananna ne srade e wo ni padua ni mumtin mu ama ohu atɔ kura. De dika obabi wo ho a okonfikyire a ema edro a wuhia ye Victory Garlic Mixture. Ebi kura ho bekwa ewie wansa na ba eye Victory e na wuhia Victory no ma na busumi biara ubenya ufikyire akwa empa ho kura eno de achi a obi wo ho ani ti na tadwa no obi wo ho ye adwuma kakra bia no abre na nakoma bɔ ne periperi ni nyina ye moja entimi mfa akoma mu kwa adwen mu eno ne kofa saa de ne ba odofo mesrew so wo ho na wonsem ta adwew ebia wonsa no sei ana wonamro mu na esi fom no kura ewew ana ayatufo se de edi fom ato mpaboa mu a eya Victory na American fom a wonum Victory asa no ma ye bobɔ so nyina no ebegai de oto ho anadwo a wontini na wohia Victory emframa nyankopɔn de ama ye se ye humi wo de wo humi a na wo tie so o bra eya Victory na betimi aboa wo ye wo bi wo so a wo ho ana ne ye mahye no a obia na ne ka obia nya ne hwe obi also na kuma bɔ periperi ni nyina moja ni ntimi ni afusa ni ye woni padua no edura wunya ye Victory Garlic Mixture de watwa bra ya bi ya na se kokko bi ne nam no no ye ne basa e victory e na me kan fo wunya victory bi no a e be boa se doctor de watu aduro so sani a ubetimi anom victory na kan waduro won na ne se waduro no na aben ma meet aduasa no anom we so na aben no anom victory no so achi meet aduasa wo ye ne sa bibia ba de kama ma se wona se tata wo ye agya ho aduma mesraw adura me kan fo ma wa ye victory garlic mixture mesraw ni kan bia dance a ye pese ye fa o ma dance na tie na se wo so koto a benya sa dance kro no a
ntumi mi mpedwa mi ntumi ni di mi yare so mena ko be 12 years di man no ndro kan mojedru 5 minutes de trim matutu ana se na meti TV ntumi na me hwe ne mu se moto ndro bi esi victory heba victory garlic mixture ne mi ntodru sa wa modru mu asa modru mu eye papa ntumi ni di o mi din san no ni di afi bi no se di ya na afi insan afi bi no ntumi di bi afi bi ma edubo ni sa wi semi anu so no ntumi di anu so bi bom sa afi de anu so bi du no ntumi di bi afi hu de menya no on ti edu no kan o TV so a nyam kutu bu ni no edu no anopa eni ewiani enwure no ande no si afi nyampara mi no bibia ntumi di mi si afi na toata ko ya black masa modro no die edoni na mi shira no
aje me pa me problem ye menstrual pains nda ne kakra me so me nya me menses no bosom ni ma me bre pa me brankasa me timi to tondro no na ne se man ti se yesi ye bidro ha na makoto be bia me we timi fa ka akọ obi kru so ekoto bidro me timi no bi chese na victory ni in fact I don't know me die wo mu die me ko tobi me tie advert no TV so sada na me sorry anwure na me ko toye na da dana me say ade yi to me padi mu no mu ja tropa yi to me padi mu ti me twa to me phone so kura say ha adwene a enka me de betuma ka ho na mo hwe te say so one way ya kwa kase me bia me ya bo hye na me no maduro bi te say efi sada na yi sa moja tro no to me pade mu no me nya mezi se no maduro e ma me hu sa e moja se bi like say kwotokwo te say ni na flow kama to victory tie mintimi enja nto ho te to de bia na mo ba abasha mo me so abasha na edo ne me di hu adanse
obi si me de cholesterol sa de body na aba mi nipadua ma be atenase wadro ye victory garlic mixture se wunya victory ni no ma cholesterol no se ne ne density bia no victory be yin ni na afiu nipadua no odofo wo pedia to anama ne 024 25 45 633 024 25 45 633 ana 020 129 3280 020 129 3280 eya victory mkunimdie ni adebramo
Every human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. Natural mineral water. Simply natural For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
Mesamo akwaba Edeba TV XYZ so power 97.9 FM so na me ka senche me yi kasam for video His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Ndranajo or joining 3 African leaders leaders of global and African business government representatives so muko PMO business dinner wo Dubai launch no Global Africa Investment Summit no ye be din komo papa na ye yi hu mfonyin ni bembre no dra na wo so hu ma eko na mi go so amekai mo awon kran krodua yi mu say di congestion exercise koso ye di kan ho asema nti mayor of Accra honorable Michael Nick Papo Alote and omuka so be Raboboshi market ni ade mu di dwuma ne kama mo amunim nti ye di kan nti bi mo de omanka sananse on beduru ho no mu yi mu nyema na fi ho omo so o maso odin no ye yinti se ye nenemu ye ba bebi a ho na wonwie yi dia wutiriye wosu nim se bebi a wona nya dia na watwon ho ntem nti the congestion exercise cause wo Greater Accra region ha eche se bebi bebre na nkasa omobo adwuma kama pa nti ye mamu na mbo se mobo ama Accra atuma Accra behwe sisi honorable Michael Nipapo Alote the mayor of Accra wo bo adwuma nti ye bo wabaso ye fro Accra semenhia no kre we se menhia won krampa because edwuma wo bo no bradwe na nti ase so yi papa woni omrantie ne tax force no munkoso mbo adwuma na memfa mbo oman Ghana na yekoye nimodia na woni msa nda Wednesday na do Wednesday dia ne Power Specialist Herbal Hospital for ebo impunimpu Power Specialist Herbal Hospital omo na omo ye producers of edu aya herbal malamix malaria how a pebi wonum be ebeboa sa so na SK edu aya SK stomach upset no so me pacho bebre wefu to brokro na how na adwen na ade a wonye bi bobo ebeboa na the champion of 4 ye jirikajiri ona Dr. Ba ne fia ha ko fa so lie ko jirikajiri me ye na bro adwen na nti ase so last week how was Stephen mama pressure pa mama ha Dr. G bi man no na che se ano odin ye friend jirikajiri na de bia me kan kala yes doctor say that there makani kala make sure and also more typhoid how mo doc me bwana wonya bia bo typhoid ya reboni pa me colleague bi ana say accountant bi amene ne adwon wo radio station bi it is a cooperative no sini ne tuetue ho ni na typhoid ya reboni papa be san so ama so ate aye kete ye wo cough care so stubborn e wa cough care no so wonya bia wani bi ho bebo na wo chest na ye wo ya ne ade wonya cough care na stubborn e we betu ase ye wo edu aya herbal tonic me pacho lost of appetite untumi ndidi wonya bia no so ebeboa ma wo hihye kama nti sa andro ina no Power Specialist Herbal Hospital na omode abadwaman so saso ya reference hepatitis A B C D and E ni na na hawa wokọ ho a ombeboa doctor wa ha to be chechire mo hwe TV so a ambassador de ne de kama pa enye gata na nchenchen abasobɔ de bia enye China mo abasobɔ de bia na omoye ho we abasobɔ de yi na edi ho adanse se ya bom amena baso bebre nti no na da ho very credible awards na omo age wo ho doctor wonsem ni na me na kwaba na Power Specialist Herbal nkomo amoma ye no fama metiefo ni ahwefo
medase abusia ye mo akwaba Power Tambre ni Power Specialist Herbal Hospital ye den chefia se Dr. Panyia oda hospital na doctor akosia adu aya ho de mo bibia ojebre na ohwe Power Time de be ensema kan nyina ne se de nkrofo edi power ho adanse TV so radio so internet ene emia hodo no onso be ka dansedi for no bi Power Specialist Herbal Hospital Dodona Fayen last stop yo Kumasi on crime and na ye water crowd Kumasi ofeyase ye ni Jasper Flint Station di enhwani mu wo aputo ja contrast kwan so Lake Road and ye wo Accra wo kwabenya ACP Council ne Block Factory no edi enhwani na fe takrade ye wo Anaje Estate Customs Road ye ni single washing bay no ensu di enhwani mu ye numbers ayemiensa famu bia na frɛ ye wo fra branch na ebe no ne ama direction ba ho na wabeji wayaresa numbers ni 0555 797878 0200 383831 and 0244 544422 Monday to Saturdays any day my Sunday penny da any even holidays ye juma e your branches ni nyam tiba bia obia any yade bia e ha obia no bomodin so betu na mo aba Power Specialist Herbal Hospital idini ya ba kopɛ Power Specialist Herbal Hospital on fa ya de ni ma ensan fa nko sentini say power so do wasamba what the symptoms be aba ye make sure say ye be who the cause of symptoms na de aba no Nemo yen tackle yen to just symptoms. You better tackle the cause no atu ade no ase ama ho atimi ato. Enti power ya yen tom from ayade yen so yade so yen manage yade o your hospital ho no mo. Into ba lab papa bi e wo hia se ma ye no be ye. Ye de enfidi be hwehwe mu. So hia se ma o yes scan, no hia se ma o x-ray. Bibi biara asase ma wo ye ni hu de ekoso ni pedo ni mo ne be ye. Ansa ne de drug county power nyame adom yen tom from yade. On fire de man san for enko baabia obia yade pia odi achinchini abo ho ka bre no baabia wokwa benya yaresa baabia wokwa dansidie wo eye Power Specialist Herbal Hospital so wo Ghana ha so wo amaya no mba hye se Togo Cote d'Ivoire de acha de se bi omo baani omo UK US da bia mo atsomo ma de hye mo ginro e de sande omu na dansidie papa omo de free hoba no enya sam ketoa enji fire de ne bra nyame adom ayaresa e wo Power Specialist Herbal Hospital. And then they kind of power time. What test hepatitis B positive? Viral hepatitis in a dozen. Hepatitis A, B, C, D, E. Them of the watching who menu pa. The wire could dear whoopa. The uncle for body dimbonepa. Watching dinner. A hepatitis B. Obosa didn't we pet no be forbidden tiashe. Sentry say a kuni papa, a kuni baby, a kuni ninya and a yere and answer you kunu. Hepatitis B, yade ba ko a say de so bodi e die bo ba adwirimu Power Specialist Herbal Hospital. Baby akwa benya yaresa Power Specialist Herbal Hospital. Hepatitis B, baby e wadansi die, baby e cha wada hodo Ghana ne amonone cha sa yade ne titu ase efri moja mu Power Specialist Herbal Hospital. Misro so what test hepatitis B positive. No obi aka to say de we eni adura baby a wokwa yaresa wo baby omu waduro doctor kwaso aduro yakopon maame no hamanuru a ye de sa yade we etu ase ye manage tieniye pa wona wodi adanse o TV so ne radio so ne adoso na obi obaba bia so na ne report before and after treatment eka ho a edi adanse se nyame adom ye waduro a ye de sa yade no ama no negative ebe ko negative nyesa ba kwa ye test no na bia ba ko dabi ebe ko negative into ba ansa na be mo oduro no ye profile no de confirm sampa yade na wo ka ho asam no kra no ewo ho anase ni ho be ye liver function test be ye viral load count wan ka so bo hu na mo adodo mo gane mu na ko ye biom de ba wo ko ye wonu maduro no kakra be sam mo ko ye biom bo bi e so tia kodu na no ahye nkuna ne amoni da so se ba bi oba no waba the right place nyame yare na ko ye biom no say negative a ye mfa na saa ye be san ye profile na confirm sampa emwana bakokra ni mogya mu enti power ya kase treatment ko negative and negative baby abanya dansidie baby akrofo di adanse baby ye wo aduro papa ye besa yade na afri ho e de amaw Power Specialist Herbal Hospital ya na otenka sa onfen ene onfen aye wo ya wo chika se wututu wo ya de kakra bi na wabre baby afri se hitu ni paduane mu ya na honam hyehye honam keka otimiti hu sa na honam nyina twetwa woni nyina no hepatitis B, the signs and symptoms no ebi eno no. Walk yes scan, walk hospital. Yes, say oh fatty liver, oh liver enlargement, oh liver cirrhosis. Abusia so here TV no so a brebo na e wo form no e ho no e smooth. Ne color no e fair. Brebo papa no saa na sese wo brebo no eye. So here de wo soro no a ahonho no ahyehye na ayegon chesa srade no ada ho se atwom. Brebo a yade omu eno no. Se wo brebo no se na akwa akoduru a bonso yefu no ayekutu aduane ketu bi na bedi a na yefu no ahye. Bonso yefu no aye dendenden right upper abdomen nufu ni fanase e de kwa mfi ho no na ho no ayekutendenden e ho hyehyew anyasam ketoa na wani nyina aye very yellow yesi onya jaundice unu yefu no na ahono se ten bo kra ba ye no scan yesi o ascites just nsuo eta yefu no mu mesro so fatty liver wo liver enlargement wo liver cirrhosis baby esesa wo kona unya yaresa eye power specialist Heba hospital enu akire no ye wo adura fe no liver care eye hamanuo pure Heba hamanuo so ene ye niye food and drugs authority registered jatum e de amayen mesro unya dua ya liver care beboa na hili liver no e de amaw wo de no eye kidney stones ana eye kidney cysts jese kasa de bi yesesa de ahihye nsuo ti se obi nsuo hye hwagu so na ahihye nsuo no e bia o kidney na hono nsuo aginigire mu Fabra Power Specialist Hospital eye kidney so eye kidney cysts wona sinyina hye tatai ama severe waist pain lower back usisi chi hono eye wo ya ahihye wo ya de kakra bi na wabre mesro emfa kidneys eni agro Tumeka Bra Power Specialist Heba Hospital Kumase Encrime na fe eye takrade odia no eye prostate na how eye bladder eye ureter na so urethra ama odunso sam aye basa kakra bi na jonso do kwa kitu bi na aba wo chimansa na jonso na aba wa ya sitimiri se ten se jonso no entumi emma wo jonso abema no ya wo ya ahihyew wo jonso wie ni mogadi achi bokwa de bari nyina ye moja nkwa ebetima your prostate ebetima your bladder that's cystitis ebia your kidneys ebetima your ureter na so urethra ebia your untreated infection gonorrhea na syphilis ebia nya ne bebia twemo no afene sunsun sanso na ba Bra Power Specialist Hospital yenya wo lab yenya wo scan yenya fa video hwehwe mu ne hu ade potepa de sa jonso problem ade abro ne tackle the course no entry ade no asema ho nto numbers ne 0555 797878 0200383831 and 0244544422 odi na ye ulcer na how akwam de wa ye problem eduane to ye ma ye problem ya na obofuno obi kra timi fe ulcer ye kro wachika serimu ya wo ya hyehyew etutu dendendene anya samketoa obo no hanyina yo ya de kopie wachutanya heartburns odi dia na eduane jejabo indigestion ya na onsa nyina titiriti ase emframa bi agina oyam gastritis ni nyina ye ulcer the symptoms na ebino no uhia edua ya SK that is stomach care ekro bia wa ya funu mu no duodenal ulcer peptic ulcer bi tuase aba ho atimi atɔ na say typhoid na how dia ya ma kala mixture eye dwuma pa typhoid ya reboni ba ko a betimi atuatu mo na betimi atuatu nsunu no mu afa se bi kwa agya na bia mo se moja emu wadwe se ye koko enya agya na moja bia na ye koko typhoid unya severe typhoid a timi de sa how no so ade ebro ubwa na wi ahwa de moja emu okoko timiri se tai wakoba bo se kim wo home asro home ya ensiso a ya ma odua ya cough care Heba mixture ya feel chest cough problem bia wo chest hode wunya bia baboa ma akoma no atodi ama ho atimi atɔ water stem malaria positive ya ma odua ya malamis ebo juma tatahwepa ba bia da bia plus bia wo bia no odua ya malamis no ebetu ase ama ho atimi atɔ yawo jiri ka jiri ni dini ne honam se male vitality be ma ne man koye e wompam emma ya ma jiri ka jiri Heba mixture ne bi be yintini mu nyina ma moja na kutime akota ntini ne mu ama be ma na gina so te se be ma mu a bibia ye kama e de ama ukwa kete so ntimi na so tia na ete be bia ye se wa short moja ne ma moja dura ya ma adua ya eye Heba tonic be bia obi ya ne ade bia titu bia no Fabra Power Specialist Heba Hospital our format for 12 months I want my a problem just a one imagine say munya nwoye nemo se mukọ bibia raw nessa 12 months awon maya eye problem kase se mutu ho anamon ya ne pese mu mienu nyina amomra sentire se ebetimi afiri bema no betimi afiri oba no mema bebre low sperm count we semen analysis no na sperm ba kokora na woni bi enso ne de pressure no egu ma no so abebo ho fibroid obia ovarian cyst was appendicitis inflammation of the fallopian tubes ni nyina ne timi si awo kwan tuba be hwe sai ne mani nyina na ba bia problem no wo se oba no ho se oba ma no ho ya boa mo ama power minister nya no Ghana no ebi asom so kompo ehye omunim goita ye fase kanka be mu odu be na ne nyina ma be ma watimi abotai oba watimi atwa wa amu na okomu ma bia ye kama e de amount sabi pampa bone e wo num halitosis bad breath enum kankan e yade ba ko a enema de ba no edoso ebia ye diabetic ba wonim bo so kra wonim so ahwe so control ni ye betim de sa cent na aba wonum ebia de na wo tim obi de wa ne sen enam no gam no kro no wo wo de wa omunum tonsillitis and also omunum sinusitis ebia wo severe liver problem e bo free wo yam na aba wo soro betim de cent aba wonum bra power specialist hospital ye hwe sa ne mani nyina emfama ya ma ya de no so no nche se nya ho adwuma ye wo kumase ya won crime ena ye water crowd kumase wo fe yase ye ni Jasper Flame Station di nhwene mu wo aputo ja kontanse kwan ne so Lake Road ena ye wo akra wo kwabenya ACP kwan so ne block factory no edi nhwene na fe takrade wo Anaje Estate Customs Road ye single washing bay no edi nhwene mu frey 0555 79 78 78 0200 38 3831 and 0244 54 44 22 Monday to Saturdays and your day Sunday penny da yen even holidays ya adwuma or your branches no me do se be bia ojebre na ohwe power time nyame yadma da sene sabre aso se be sign animo ahia kin me sorry na me chaye Director General of Prisons Mrs Patience Bafo Bonnie or the Chief Superintendent of Prisons, okay. Mrs. Esther Etuahene. Nyame aduma da sene ye be sign ehia bio.
Sir, okay, enti as wetia prisons dia me so menko Ghana National Fire Service. Minchia the former Chief Fire Officer, Dr. Albert Brown Gazy. Dr. Albert Brown Gazy. Oye Nkabom hene wo eye duaya nkwanta traditional area. One ne wife mommy woso memao eye aha area. Minim so one daddy mo hwe. Na me minchia the current Chief Fire Officer Madam Daniela Mausi Sapon. Madam Daniela Mausi Sapon. Mommy pomo to say mamemfa inchia kese nko ema ene service ni na no edwuma mu ye fu na mo Ghana National Fire Service. Me didi se mu na mo hoye. Mame ntwa me ho na me nkwaje aboafo nkrato mbra. Me ba ye wo Honorable Peter Yaukwache Aka or former NDC NP edema Amenfi Central Saso na yebeti listo nana pokuso yebetinenka or the executive director edema gag ekuku damina mi no mo bedijuma mami twa me hombre me ba nsem gubamba so ayeba na yedi ho nkomo me ba sesia.
Now let me tell you about Safari Valley Eco Resort, the first of its kind in West Africa. Upon your arrival, you are introduced to a butler who plans your itinerary.
We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the eco park.
So many activities, all in the same premises. Visit the gym or the stables, they have it all. At my break, I'm able to practice my putting.
We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife and how to interact with them.
They used only electric vehicles here. This creates a serene environment. I'm told it's over 1,000 acres. My cabin here sits on 2 acres with a large terrace space overlooking my private swimming pool. Now this is royalty. They have their own farms, thousands of fruit trees. I can also have my lunch here at the waterfall. Quite a beautiful place you have here.
Visit Safari Valley Eco Resort in Ghana, bringing you closer to nature.
The serene environment fits into the goal of the school, which is simply to provide excellent educational foundation for your ward's development before they commence primary education. At first glance, clearly you will see why the school is called Hebron Hills International School, as the building stands tall overlooking town. With a Montessori style, we have experienced and dedicated staff and trained teachers. Our small sizes classrooms are meant to enhance teacher-focused approach where children get one-on-one attention from the teacher. Hello there. We are open at 7:30 a.m. and school closes at 2:30 p.m. After school care is from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. while early drop-off can be arranged at 6 a.m. Hebron Hills International School is located at Midye off the Nsawam Road. Locate us with GP postcode GW0688 GA West and GPS code 06884870. You can contact the school and make further inquiries on 050-876-2375 or call the office directly on 0302-918768. Email us at hebronhills.school@gmail.com. Hebron Hills International School. Excel and shine.
Obrebo eye adwumada ebwa eyam aduane ebwa eyi insa free ni peduani na ebwa woni pedua ma etena ho yi nanso woni se niema a yedi na yenom timi ma brebo ye adwumaden simpote
mehunda mebrebo ye adwuma pa ebia se mitumi ye bibi me brebo
Annie, and waiting on what the left feet from the Moses Clinic, we have our center about herbal food supplement. We see to the barber, and my ye juma ye.
Any juma.
Fatopa yenu, and no pani and you may. Now a broma berbo ye juma ye, send a beya, and bits me and yam a jania woody, and sissy ni pejanimo, a you moving see.
And no, I'm a bravo can't.
Ubenya Left Kid or pharmacy, herbal shops, and supermarkets are a bell. So what do those way to up? Fresh 0244 068447. Left Kid, one with bread war, one with Nipedia. A dream any mapping for a ma emma or man for, name of what are 1 year in fear to me. FDIG JD Kratui Atum.
If a crown a minisika, Etia Yemifui.
Ehin fapa na menya bosia e dia tre medjuma yimu
kai kra mabre menya bosia ato taxi fofo Suhum Rural Bank
Suhum Rural Bank
Yemamu akwa baba Suhum Rural Bank ye won hyehyɛ ahodo bi te sɛ dwadifo abosia ekoko bosia susu account and it does our savings account me bada chain savings account and the akeka ho First Suhum Rural Bank was 03422919896 na won so wetu mi aka say
Suhum Rural Bank ama ene mayeka una
Suhum Rural Bank enti mepa minie
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Oh, Mr. Entry, also ya titi be ben fiepi nanso ne yamo nyono da se me show no ahodo amato a me hunu hwea ebe ya nwanwa
menyi ni se what also tamfo hexa capsules any hexa mixture ya no mbom kotia also no bia ma no anom anka ne ho to no dadaada also dro de eno ne hexa capsules any hexa mixture
ankom ni nchiremu
also ye kura eto ye funu ene ensunu mu etuma wo ye funu ekeka wo wogye wo ho a enyi also etumi ema wo ye cheko ebra wadidi awie so how aye also there compare hexa capsules any hexa mixture nanum bom na ho ebeto
pedudu etu a ko okanshi drug lane Kumasi Dani Herbal Takradi AA Mensa Anafre 02038228855 Apefo abatanya woma won mofra no fo ene mofra woni mfiedu mienu enka ho Haxa capsules ene ne mixture
also tamfo edie age edwadie nkrato yi atom
Mesamo akwaba baby a wo hwe TVXYZ baby a wo tie power 97.9 FM bia ne mbredura ekukuda magin konya atena so nti ye ba na yebedi nkomo mamintia Musa abatwa wo asanwase kumase wo so wo hwe ye pa Musa ebedi se hu ye pa nti enchi akese nkoma Musa abatwa baby a wo bia wo hwe ye na utie ye bia emigo so ka tra Ghana for titiri ye wo Greater Accra region ha say a demolition exercise koso nti moma yenhye so make say honorable Peter Yaukwachi aka owofia ha nti yebetene nka oye NDC MP former NDC MP Amenfi Central owa sa so na yehwe nim say listo Nana Pokusu beba be cancer na ono so executive director de Magag no so yebeti enenka baimo mansa be share enkomo na so yenkohwe Endra Anadwo His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or joining 3 other African leaders, leaders of global and African business, government representative for Mukupimo business dinner course Dubai, and a lunch, a global African investment summit, Yankoshe me course na yinti. My Excellency John Dramani Mahama so addressing meeting Mokai.
My brother Akin, and thanks for this invite. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of the African Union, Your Excellency, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, my sister Samia, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister of Mozambique, Maria Levy, representing President Chapo, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, my brother, my friend, we've come a very long way. I'm happy to be here this evening. Madam Margaret Krauss, Chair of APCO and co-founder and Vice Chair of the Global Africa Investment Summit. Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield, who is a friend of Ghana, a sister, global CEOs, business leaders, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to join you this evening at the launch of the Global Africa Investment Summit, an idea whose time has truly come. Let me begin by warmly commending Dr. Adesina and Madam Margaret Cross for their vision and leadership in establishing this strategic platform. The Global Africa Investment Summit has the potential to change how global capital engages with Africa fundamentally at scale, with purpose and for mutual prosperity. And so I wish to congratulate you both. And I know that this is the outcome of several meetings and discussions we held with Akin flying into Ghana several times and us plotting his post-retirement activity. And I'm happy that soon enough, after retiring, he's come with this brilliant platform to help Africa. I've known Dr. Adesina very well. He's a friend, a brother. Indeed, I was his campaign manager when we were campaigning to make him the president of the African Development Bank. His decades of leadership at the African Development Bank Group was marked by transformational achievement that impacted the lives of more than 565 million people on the African continent. When he concluded his tenure in September 2025, it was clear that his commitment to Africa's progress was not going to end with his departure from the bank. It is therefore no surprise that today, Africa's, and I call him the optimist in chief, Dr. Adesina's optimism rubs off you. In whatever circumstance, he's optimistic. That Africa's optimist in chief is once again leading a bold initiative, this time on a truly global investment stage. The theme of this summit, Mobilizing Global Capital for Africa's Next Growth Chapter, captures the moment with remarkable clarity. The global landscape is shifting rapidly. Geopolitical fragmentation, the reordering of supply chains, the declining role of traditional aid, and intense competition for capital and resources demands a new approach. Africa cannot afford to be a passive participant in this new global era. We must shape how the world engages with us, and most importantly, on our terms. This conviction inspired that we call the Accra Reset, which was the clarion call for a clear shift away from aid dependency towards economic sovereignty, self-determination, and investment-led growth. Moving from aid to investment is not merely desirable, it is essential for sustainable development. So the launch of the Global Africa Investment Summit is therefore not symbolic, it is action itself. Africa possesses vast sovereign assets. The challenge before us is how to convert these assets into credible, investable portfolios with clear revenue streams, bankable structures, and long-term returns for the prosperity of our people. Institutional investors are seeking stability, they're seeking scale, and predictability. Africa can offer all three if our assets are appropriately valued, structured, and properly governed. Ghana is a case in point. Our natural resources form the backbone of a robust investment proposition. Gold is Ghana's single largest asset. We are Africa's largest producer and among the top 10 biggest producers globally, with annual production exceeding 5 million ounces. With the right asset structuring frameworks, gold alone can generate several billions of dollars annually to support Ghana's growth, Ghana's infrastructure, and our industrialization. Already with preliminary restructuring of our gold export sector, gold volumes from our small-scale mining sector alone, excluding large-scale, has increased from 604 tons in 10 months, yielding revenues of $10 billion in 10 months. Ghana is also the world's fourth largest producer of manganese, a strategic mineral for steel production and electric vehicle batteries. Our bauxite reserves positions us to play a central role in global aluminium value chains. We are determined not to remain exporters of raw materials, but to become participants in value addition and manufacturing. And that is why Ghana has taken the bold decision to ban the export of raw mineral ore. We invite global investors to partner with us, not just in extraction, but in value creation. These partnerships will generate jobs, they will transfer skills, expand foreign exchange earnings, and strategically position Africa within the geopolitics of critical minerals, metals, and rare earths. Global capital does not chase isolated projects. It invests in platforms. What the Global Africa Investment Summit offers is precisely that: well-structured, scalable investment platforms across minerals, energy, infrastructure, trade, and logistics. Africa already has the assets. What we're building now is the architecture that allows those assets to speak the language of global capital. This shift from aid and debt dependence to asset-driven growth will enable African economies to attract long-term capital without unsustainable increases in our public debt. It will also anchor our development in ownership, productivity, and resilience. As a champion of the AU champion of the African financial institutions, I'm encouraged that this summit will provide a transparent, collaborative space for engaging global investors. Political leadership will offer stability and confidence, while professional asset restructuring will ensure fair returns for investors and tangible benefits for our people. Through the Global Africa Investment Summit, Africa decisively moves from an aid-driven narrative to an investment-driven future from dependency to ownership. Africa needs robust ecosystems for asset restructuring, risk mitigation, and deal making. And so this summit is a game changer, one that can unlock the full value of Africa's sovereign assets. Ghana fully supports this initiative. And so together, let us reset the narrative. Let us mobilize global capital, and let us unlock Africa's vast potential for Africa and for the world. I thank you very much for your attention.
It is Excellency John Dramani Mahama na yɛte in Kano. Okopie mo a Global African Investment Summit ase na Odessa enkomwe editu adwa. Nti ye per akwaye ni ma inside politics jumedi ye from Nicholas Yawus Yosen. Make us say Honorable Peter Yakwache Aka. Oh yeah, former NDC MP de ma Amenfi Central or Wajin Nkunya enke listo na napokusu baba kansa waha na yedi enkomo o papa mamma ba kwa ba
ya me de
na bibi aboko de
o nyame na dum ye
de nyame ase constituency to say Amenfi Central de na eko
Amenfi
Central bi akọ ba bibi aboko de research na ka
ya me ti omunka me ti omunka nti enumre me ti omu nyina omo hwe yen ne omo omutie nyina ya mo mafrishia pa dada nti esensu ye chia wo every pebno ebeba besra wo bebre na frame na be na wo ba da be na wo ba bro nyine me ba ho na manchimi anko approve bia nti nyame yaduma istay me ba na ma besra mo na yedidi e ho nkomo
yo
nti bichemu ina
anti edietene no Honorable Peter Yakwachiaka na yate enenka no na unim se wo edwuma akone ne mpotema edwuma akoso Honorable yenye ye kesepa atoapa Nana Kwesi Bosom the second ye friend na brabo man ka se friend Francisco Fi kwakwa ata ankobia hene awo edwumako traditional fancy edwumako ya Nana Kwadranti okokura into the 40 days observation betumi abaso nyame adma 20 February edru ha yina yebeba be pm ho edwumako the backgrounds 9 am minim say chairman Sofo Osman Dauda oni shewu mu yina betumi abepiem de la gudamo aboso ward NDC ne yanko brebo pa na order for me nti edru ha yina bebe jamo papa megidi se aboso ward NDC ward chairman Sofo Osman Dauda oni nenia de la guda ward A and B omuno edima kotene papa michechi amopa mumfa show indi agro shewu mu ne officers communication officers omo ho any constituency say Scott mu na mo ho tsen ho mechia de na menchia aboso gangwe edwumanfo amo ho ha na yeyi mu afim cooperative mining responsible cooperative mining aboso gangwe mechechi amo papa na medidi se mu na mo ho ye michechi amopa medidi se mu na mo ho ye nti akese enko mamopa sa aso na minchia apintofo Ebenezer agbanyaga woni edwumayefo amo apinto yina bogoso fo so mo ho tesen matese mahye adwuma ase bogoso responsible cooperative mining ken ne dom mo se mo ye mo clinic enche mo bebia no mo se ma minchia mo ken ne dom medidi se mu na so mo ho ye mo nye responsible cooperative mining na mpenimfo enyewe owura kasama for kasama responsible cooperative mining owura John Afo obaha so taught Western region osumu boyjuma papa na cooperative mining no so amoye wo ho mpenimfo asom anti ade a mo registration bibia beda kama na maye adwuma ye mpene ma obi bia ma maji mo concession a mo ye na mo di so mfa so China fu hwanyon NDC aba onye saada timonye mu cooperative mining responsible one na enyewe obi obejeje mu bia ye wo ha so se ye be sheme sa person no be hye niam atire na we be di mo bone wo cooperative mind na moye na musume di so mfa so nti nyamenka mo chairman so forceman Dauda Shewu Mone eye chairman de Laguda Muna yechichiamo. Honorable, back to Jumedia Yedi na say PM efano the rename of international airport. Say Kotoka International Airport say fofuma bimodia yate ho abekosam enye ndo ebro more than 10 years in na ebede edwa debate ho asenti o munsisende so obekaya eya bebre na afi say bi enre chi na majority leader debate udwa no mama yaga eya de wo dada na nkofo etaka ho asem se Kotoka International Airport no yenhwe ne yenyimfi ho na yensisende no na yemma no Accra International Airport say enra Parliament here Presbyterian free na who majority minority na kasaye na ora mama yarga editudwa etre say ebehia say international airport in be na Accra International Airport na odinsem na atuga transport minister so akasa no so achechim yenim say bi mo na but you bet you take on that yenhwe transport minister biom na no disema oditudwa efano Dina yes Kotoka International Airport na Accra International Airport. Momenti sa assembly kekrebi abas boame.
Now the situation is like that we are not doing this with any political thinking. We are doing this to come from a very neutral point of view that Accra is our capital city. It is not anybody's name. If we want to name other monuments or any other national facilities to people, this is the time that we are looking at restructuring them. For the fact that we had a name and it was changed to honor somebody in his role in the 1966 coup, we feel that history is not what the Ghanaian will want to hear. The fact that it had an original name, and that name was when the first president gave that name to the airport. We should do that, and Kwame Nkrumah himself in his grave will remember, even if the spirit is anywhere and it is coming home, it will get to his original Accra International Airport, no any other name.
Enti the tenano minister na also achim sentintia amosesa dino yenkwotie afenyo marking propaganda also edify rename no.
Then all these years we've had this Kotoka, General Kotoka's name on the airport, and suddenly it's been changed. What is it? After it's Kotoka International Airport, Accra. So Accra is still there. I'm not suggesting any other name. I'm saying that the name Kotoka International Airport, Accra is already there. Accra is already there. So you don't need to remove Kotoka's name from there. So if you come to Accra or even in the country, how many prominent Voltarians have their names on national assets or national monuments? This is the only thing the people of Volta region can also at least see as something that recognizes heroism from the Volta region, and that one too they are being denied. Well, Honorable Kwame Abuja is from Volta. Honorable Ukujeto Ablakwa, he's from Volta and is sitting in cabinet. Honorable Fifi Kwete is the General Secretary of NDC from Volta region. Honorable Ahiafo, he is the first Deputy Speaker in this government from Volta region. Honorable Kwame Eche, the Femepo, Majority Chief from Volta region. And they are all sitting down watching the government to take away a Voltarian's name, which has been given to our airport, and successive government never made any attempt to change it. And in this time and age, they are from Volta and they are in the government and they are watching Volta to lose its pride. It's up to them.
Enti afenyo marking Abbas ebeya afa we no so ka homa me ebeya moma menhwe makodwo opon kroma so okaye propaganda afenyo marking crowd wodwen ho a wonti ase yenhwe asem so akodwo opon so kaye so support ya non support.
Welcome, Honorable. Just a quick question.
Well, what's up?
Okay, so the Accra International Airport has been changed to Accra International Airport. About to be changed.
Yeah.
Yes. Please, what are your views on that?
I think it's a good idea. I'll support it.
You support the name change?
Again?
You support the name change?
Yeah, I do. I support it. I think that it should be known as the Accra International Airport.
Okay. So you think it's a step in the right direction?
I think so. I'll support it.
And then that one on afenyo marking minority leaders on support it. Makodwo opon kroma so support it. Nti the eteno no akeke say betunya income minority leader. It is hard to where the debate were what the dada nana fu bebre so am support it. Nti minim adintia ebe mu safi de ebe sesano no bebre na kasa efa ho. Abo Kotoka International Airport renaming and matters arising.
It's a clip from Afenyo Marking leader. Very unfortunate. Say all try no people a tribal sentiment. The dear boy crack says a voter for Omanya pa. We are ministers of boy. My Abuja
Okuja
to Abraka Ayapo. I could have prominent people positions now which other tribe na war sa positions no nti when we no it won't wash because this we Abuja ni position kura Minister of Roads and Highways a very big position. And he should leave them alone.
But also Honorable Minister, Joseph Bukari, or simple.
Yeah, the Americans say, on what they should quickly go ahead. Go ahead now. And change the temp. Match is long overdue. Yes, now Ghana Hano because of a year about 20. Obia take it bold decision. Bia na usro. Say bia you anger some side. My side be at 20 not sure until aya na nyema bi ye kura no na agya no ho but this one here say NDC or more modern na yensesa no na posterity will judge a sense say Kwame Nkrumah in the first place on what independence the Ghana there's no doubt about it at all on founder of the nation founder of the nation and ye hwe nyema Kwame Nkrumah ayeye ye ndi data misusa ni ye kakra yes oti Kwame Nkrumah dina no say yes who were president Nkrumah never dies that time is young pioneers now to say na a minor ejina ho yes a minor ejina ho
young pioneers once
yes na ye be school near the school in Konya school books na Ghana publishing carried aba every village. Wow. I mean, this was a great man, far ahead of its time. And I'm Ghana, and so Bantem to do. Now, no one him a Crabia, Kwame Nkrumah ye and so.
Boboso.
Akoso Bodam.
Temahabo.
Tama Township, a corner the whole township, no, a Nkrumah is here.
No, TDC, no.
TDC, yeah. So TDC, they share a township now, development, yes. Okay. And Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Cape Coast University,
UCC,
Accra Motorway, Valco, Tama Valco, yes. And healthcare, OCC, all regional hospitals, and district hospitals.
Yes.
The time. And roads that time now roads ni what said you will be a friend Ghana highways no would deliver could be a friend near friend Fidel Roads which near from Pyrom for department or the back
no we would be
on now more a year quite
on
highways no roads and highways near our company no the say on your rules yes mekai na
SCC na state construction
yes corporation yes
state housing
Kwame Nkrumah sano
that corporations ni
free education. Shas na that time na primary school ni ade na obi antua school fees compulsory but free nanka ode ba secondary school na only ye two no
but the northern part of the country ne dey
then secondary school na free yes
okay
na obano pan-africanism onanka yes all can african nyina abom yes na we are see before nyina ye bom no ye no if say PWD, Pyronfo Department. Pyronfo Department. Yes.
But tax and works.
Public works
department.
Public works department. And the parks and gardens. Garden near flowers. Public works department. The goods.
PWD.
Yes. And she
done by highways.
Yes. And before you to about see you need the best a man African on the for the millennium. Yes, I been you see any back one or outstanding. You can hand you to about we are suffering in to about near you coming from as the man of the millennium. And yet as you Ghana high non-aligned movement you say you can Kwame Nkrumah oni Tito ena Sukarno Indonesia ena Yugoslavia head womo ena tesa non-aligned movement no this abu committee na I the whole world obako omo train no picture ebobo ho Kwame Nkrumah de ka ho legacy oye no Africa Cup of Nations say ye kwa ye bufa so yentumi Kwame Nkrumah
yentumi nkobi kwa
yentumi nkobi Nkrumah na establish here the Gold Cup no ono di si ho no yes ade say everybody continent akabom na Ghana ye je no 2000 one time if you no ne o team my friend Real Republicans yes actually say omo na Bob Black Stars no mbo league no so yes Africa Unity ona oti African odi few leaders be and share Africa Unity as here and ba Africa Union
and OAU
Organization of African Unity. Yes, and they say my friend here in African Union. And medical school. For that you train doctors in our UK. Or batch as we pa or some more doctor
Russia.
Much Russia, they don't buy no about me Russia. You call Eastern countries no. Now before that now London, now you call.
Okay.
Now call London bar any lawyers no. Just a coach no 3PC. Na kwa mtu say mo me ya made. Mechi bi wa ha. Na ya ba. Ade na e common.
Mo ba mo nsa.
No a medical school. Yes. Na say am for see ye muwon. Ya mpene. Nkuma say okay. We medical school na. We na head of the medical hospital. Upompo no ye in medical school hwe efe akuku downfall no primo bako that was the vision this man had the same thing law na dan kwad buja no call London ko ye law no buy no court na kwa mkoma ba obayi fa omo no because omo ko grounds no btia no be GCC na kuma ye secretary no call round for under boys grassroots and a law school no or cemetery law school because they were untouchable. And in Nkrumah so be law school. Now law school is what they call Makola. The idea is say or say law is nothing.
It should be for the commoner.
It should be for the commoner.
Wow.
You must be with the people. Into a friend Makola. That was the idea because now lawyers not just say omo ye you wo mani or bar just or cover phone to say bruni pepe. Yes. Now omo chia no ho court. Yes. Can you a paper na tag. Yes. Nkrumah so boa. Mama dear come on. Ordinary person be able yes. Ghana Commercial Bank. Bank of Ghana. Na Nkrumah na ye. Just say Gihawk industrialization. Yeah,
Kosumo textiles.
Nkrumah's factories are many. Yes, glass factory. You want a Thai factory?
Yes.
Over 100
no, we so no we see quarters.
Yes, quarters. Almost quarters, almost hospital, almost school. We be about 140 industries. And that ye be
on the clubhouse.
This was a man. na wama Ghana yɛkɔ yi yɛ Black Star Line yɛ wɔ shipping line ɔhɔ na meyɛ adwuma State Shipping Corporation na those days kora me baa mu na yɛkɔ Canada
veteran
na before no yes
tin on my history no
before ba ship no who say blacks nkwana from captain down to the cleaner blacks are omo no break it down no musu say yembu on say omo yenipa na blacks Africa country yet me pilot ship a free had alcohol they weep and cry on kwa duare nti kwa duare no ya packing ship one be dem one we go coffee also mo ship aba
Ghana ship aba
one more before me now mo ship aba yeah Ghana for
Nigeria
before no one more me here you know slaves here dem ko go da na omo nyino yes enti omo bamu say omo so omo yaba California
Americans
yes we be able to bia blacks no hon they come to the ship and enjoy na a fly Ghana flag me jai Ghana Airways and this man I cannot mention on where Sanyama nyina na abrofo say this man is a dangerous man and why independence or say the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of Africa and why na London America said this man is a dangerous man that very day no making statement Independence Day no planning say we should get rid of this man it's a danger to the interest because yes or bands will be Africa boom near minerals near the one country my brother
just say Kwame Nkrumah Patrick Lumumba money no more vision
bia Nkrumah ori Julius Nyerere no any Julius Nyerere any secretary no woman yes stalwarts and Ethiopia man you friend say Haile Selassie yes and this man was a great man.
Mobutu was the odd one.
Mobutu yes or no Mobutu Patrice Lumumba yes ono Mobutu
Patrice Lumumba ye kun
and when now shall see obey ya ono Mobutu yes and Nkrumah had done a lot for the country. They say, all the police headquarters, police hospital, Nkrumah, and he built the country. At that time, all the UN, no Kasama China. Nkrumah did not Kasama China. China was nothing. Nkrumah Kasa.
And now we feel say you share the British and the Americans now. No feel say Kwame Nkrumah pushy the agenda of the communists. No, Africa. Pan-Africanism. Okay. Or from African in a country. No, now China no invite African leaders. Now Gambia. The population no team. Also your president. Senegal. Also team. Now Ghana team. Now wait. There's a getting this. Now China kakrake president Bakusi. Now how will you survive? And Nkrumah idea saying in one country. The state say America. Almost said this man is a dangerous.
All that attempt was to make sure he gets rid of divide and rule.
Okay.
And the school near the Emma. Because he can't now go to president now go to
Churches Africa ye own enemy so because for time say pushy but
say only and Nkrumah no ye lead the Bianchi mami story say the Nkrumah was a great man abefuru you say ya here obe hadwin in the CIA plan from that day no on plan ya na de betu no e dey far Ghana force na e dey far Kotokaso CIA agent declassify security na I da say CIA in a bit too Kwame Nkrumah with Germany and Britain mutu no mani so uncle Vietnam America Vietnam war no yes Kwame Nkrumah nipa okoka asem na ebeti so multi Vietnam war na big year Nkrumah say ono edo kusisi na the classmate no ye ayiwa the class Nkrumah classmate wo university wa brochio ano ye ambassador wa ha nti Nkrumah ye very close no mu yusu say on kan kire Nkrumah say onko Vietnam no ko mu je Nkrumah wa ha o mu twintu no na Nkrumah koe odu China ene ku no esi wa ha o mu tu no na sani pom yusu na ne kutoka no na me tu no ena Ankara General Ankara ono no head of state so me military junta ni a colleague and to pacify them no the sadia kutukana or yakuna a yakun yan funny din infant so yaboa ni aka some young guys with lieutenants and I'm here counter cruise and come to kutukane a woman a yinagu and I'm a kun kutuka no man succeed young boys
video judgment
guitar boys yes come on fire squad in case of CD and come fan kruma back now so CD they killed a kutuka and ankra no say sadia ye dey to airport so airport na Kwame Nkrumah esi no just ye di bunim tia and am dey to airport yes they didn't do so and the Kwame Nkrumah call Guinea and or Tiwa na odi we because they poisoned him or Tiwa no more so a dangerous say and I can't obetumi aba and here they were Western region you wana soldier for o say Kwame Nkrumah bo no mu buka no ma babes ko border ho they were so scared of this man so Sigana has one embassy yes and this was a man undoubtedly no on or yeah country na a crown or dear national see you to know Kabana Ghana baby you just say no doubt in a developed country yeah too and if say yeah politics need to if you military coup upon military coup na soldier ni na atu ebi na yedi na so nti you soldier ni oba so you will not take the name out ebi I say Rollins also a soldier ni nti I don't think say it should have been rational on his part to remove the name say una obetu constitutional rule nti ye use na free so no nke be kon dem wonu ankasa nti ade o sa na ye ba political parties nso no e say o ye yi na okoye bibia o so say o ya obe offend one side bi na ya nto aba ma na ya konkon so sa NDC aba and for once o my very bold come what may they should clear the name of say you know a voter region they have done a lot efimamo no me ade o mo din tutu ne ma so efimamo ofa yana assassin ono compose yo yes efimamo ena ona no musicology yes ono okawoma music money we are for nyina oka ho this was a great man why Bedema na ye campaign ma ye Kwame Nkrumah free prison Bedema nimu aka Kwame Nkrumah ko nye president my prime minister or the prison na Bedema ni si abrofo say onu no say no obehwe ma Kwame Nkrumah agina odi Kwame Nkrumah pictures ni ade odi nam and year campaign na Kwame Nkrumah ne ko yi ni free prison e dey invite voter region for were great leaders are you bet me dey obinum triaye but the minimum ke anya independence ka Kwame Nkrumah ama and it's a great man yetwi onano but not the man ono obetu such a great man they didn't get to this for so long no it's a long overdue and where the ma Mahama ne NDC party thumbs up come what may we are there back and some for Kasa. You have done the right thing. One day, posterity to will understand. And to where the Yamanka district, Yassano. Na Accra, a project Accra, so. Obian, you quite cry. Now, can say a same Accra, a Kotuka International Airport, Accra. Now, what is this? Can you imagine that? Now, why we using say, Madame Fopa, where he mean, yes, sir. My own. On report na the last one one more kasa change of name no more number University of UMAT UMAT they change the name UMAT into NGC in the year changing the I am George Grant University. I mean, if you Onimbawo, Obi Wuba, no, actually, George Grant, Takradi. Yes, so, yeah, also UGCC. It's founder of UGCC. Runabout. George Grant, a Park Grant runabout. And I went away. University of Manson, and almost a son. No parliament. Yeah. And UDS. I'm saying, but still UDS. So UDS. Rolling with Jessica. Wa. I'm friend Simon Dombo. SD Dombo. Yes. also G2 University of so and UDS Navrubo Diano as well as CK Tandem
one of their fathers founding
MPP
yes you are win to 10 to 2 you know
from
yes one more Sai University and this whole university and Efremamu University. I know no big can say a waste of money and a waste of resources. That they not when no changes a deal now. And you know waste of money. Now how can you see university not mean in the right way biao.
So we cry lens and a UPS cry non person.
UPS don't compensate.
No,
the university of
Ghana come to sono.
Yes.
A Pierre Montina Mafos. Mudia Monia UPS no. Lagos come because
I don't cry so University of Education Omo campus here na wo
Apiamenka yes yes oh man now go to university now go friend CK Tandama Tedem na senior the CK ne
I'm saying in university
CK Tandam now I think we na say political omo young people for nti e we see university we see kura na ka odi to so anka
omo see enim den to
na obi see
enim see
na de ye change cool maker na de ni number 2 onipa o see
Clement Kubindi wo
Kubindi wo
Tedem
na university na opportunity sana na ya de papa nti we say Kwame Nkrumah see airport yes na you dey one fa Kwame Nkrumah di kura to so say bia Kwame Nkrumah international airport where dey on the Accra na to so there should be no question about it at all onko Kwame Nkrumah na nyema we bro ye nyina wa fa ba kura to ni jamo we ni ya to University of KNUST yes and you feel name anything in the country Kwame Nkrumah na ye adibia lasting bia yes insurance state insurance corporation SIC bia
yes na companies be corporations
yes intimia and I support fully
okay
NDC ya de Mahama we dey credit to him na one more omo majority leader we say so Rose Minister I think they all support any man ya bekasa represent
Kojo Nkrumah
minister of transport
Bukari
yes Bukari omo from adwembom ni ensesa no na yenye no ye pa na airport yari fefe na yes we friend no kotoka
enye mama na ma FSC
yes exactly
utu kwa
nti kwa twin kan yes terminal 3 and ye ato so twin kan kotoka international airport ho yes terminal 3 nti emraso yenye no Accra international airport
me that's papa Reverend Bright Ekombia on and wife prophetess Lauricia Mbia AK Solution Assemblies of God wo East Legon Hills omo na edano so for mame ne kuno omo so omo enjoy show ne pa na baby a papa ni afa no and then wa ma isua de pa
solid
until I say the M say Independence Day be I be your guest yentie listo to asoma
yentie fakunya we so na menchia tiefo ne ahwefo
we ajo
na menchia major na in fact, I wish Senka made the time in Abemana to a lecture, so I was really enjoying the lecture.
Okay.
Now, a idea I was a Bribiano, a kaka inchi. So, you're free precope and you're bay or my Ghana. A binuma juma ding, ne omonseo, Sebi. Kwame Nkrumah, na when your opportunity. Akotama noni okoya wo hu sani akosi broni ye ne nioma no na won tene ho asese ade na memman Ghana sebi ade abroni ye ne broni ne aye kan ne moja nye tuntum ana se bibi fufu kokko ne nsamienu ne namienu ne nimienu de sesa ye bia ne kola eso kra wo hwe kola na ye de na hodin wom cha broni de Nkrumah esi ni pise bibini betimi aye na opese oye the shining example na o making sure say historically no eye on record so say the bruni betimi aye bia no bibini so betimi aye den aye na se utie the narrative of the UGCC ene ya nuanum UP4 ne sebi ne MPP4 the history sebi previous pacho odo efu na obetimi ado a okofa pani na okofa pani na obedo na efu ne so na ye doso na afei okase mame abunu na wo de wo se da bi wo do me ma apesi die to the extent say ma Nkrumah transport man dey buy obi ana oti abuchire nti se wo hwe otan a omode tan Nkrumah titiri ne kwan a Nkrumah sabi ne din ahyeta wa mama nyina so Nkrumah sabi enye religion ena sabi yentimi mfa Nkrumah nya enka Nkrumah sabi enko betima religious figure papa amana yeye wanye sabi selfish say o ye ne mind at some point Ghana Guinea Mali ya yonkofa ekwan ya ne fa so bo Guinea fo ne Mali fo akonhoma ni nyina ewo ho na owo pepa say ye be kan ye ho abom na ye yi border lines na broni epeso mo ye divide and rule no afri yenu na ye kan ye ho bom a ebe ye den se broni betimi atete yentem enunti ye fa hudie amagana kra be the gateway to Africa no na Nkrumah vision say eno no ehu ni mfaso say ye benya liberation ama Africa nyina aye baako enunti sene na penika no he was a threat and a thorn in the flesh of the West enunti ohwe ya enyoma kesia abobodi nyina no se uyi amampanifo mienu pe in the political history owe champion and Ura Mahama pe and abetimi compete there is no political leader on this surface of this country called Ghana and obetimi eno kura no ye de omo etoto ne ho se omo ye bi na nya de Nkrumah ye Nkrumah is a stalwart. Na the tiene say akoko sachi nya Nkrumah fe. Ena adwe na wo tirimu a enunti no ema Nkrumah entimi ama o mo entimi execute sa agenda no. Na ya dia nka bomman. Enti ene ye nyini free ho. Na nyini free ho kra. Unu say Nkrumah is say the books a wono atro ehye no wo ran we mu the statue si ho the bubu ye ukọ sesi ukọ Nkrumah museum a obi ko museum ko ni ti no ye museum no ma mi bi ne le ba e no mdi di ti no be e ba say asemi si ye no mo nana e fa tire no ko hye o mo paase no mdi be donate ye ma Bernard Mona no committee eye tanya monsieur krate temi say obi papa awo penny man yie na sansa omo ya man boyefo ntino e ka omo nko na nka ni di kroni kwa senke ye tro e wobuku mu sana na otanfo peso ye Yesu Kristo e manya mesem so kata na so ku ni ye no afeni dia seta wa mama nyina so say we ni ade nkwa na obeje ye nkwa no sana Nkrumah tie e wa Africa nti wo Africa is synonymous with the name Nkrumah. There is no African leader with the etymology Nkrumah. Na nko alone no and ma sabi ye bie ya pon say ye enkofo a hospitality ye enfe ti amanfo mra they came since time immemorial. They have been coming every time and they will be coming every now and then just because of the name Nkrumah. They just want to see where Nkrumah was born. Ko nansi ya me ko ho me de no fa se ba akoko Nkrumah museum ho ko twitwa amfonyini. Oduru ho no na okan ni o ma ya trafa Nkrumah ho no. Na ne ra ho. this is someone on my Ghana and put that no man no know what you betray and oba Ghana for the first time. The first question we say or pursue who Kwame Nkrumah Museum Ukrano. Yeah, on my map, first visit, second visit, but no congrofo. They wanted to know and then school for. Eti bisa ho say omumu hwan ene sebi hwan pa na betimi aka se ma kwakire me baabi adankwa enna wo hwan na be fra man no ne abaga na ha se kwakire baabi adankwa na wo dankwa na wo wo prison no etutra sem bone ase ne ma Nkrumah ka na mo asoma mo koto bo mo no mo tu kenke mo no okasa mo nyani sei mo hu na ni mo ase. These were the rebels. Wabra na Nkrumah wo eto mo sha ase kan Nkrumah nyane. Now where I depart from all that is happening, and he said you do say Ghana and the gateway to Africa there. And was at the entrance to Ghana no by air no you to Nkrumah men pen cry do no and cry for omotiase say and cry yan cry na Nkrumah ka ho and a man cry hwe ade a wo ye no tema ho senka etwa so a enka Ghana ha minimi senka o maybe be sen Send your planet tema.
Community 1 site.
And was said that because I said free a punamo. Send your bayan kebeba. Etika nano. Aha yetin can you say beyond the ashes say yadine. Udika di show ko ho. And you can ya ko once and wash as say dine. Sound so pepe na boni ya ne ma. And no obiti baby oso ni kan ya obiti baby oso ni ensuo. Meanwhile, senka ban no nka ye sanse se ni nyina na enka plot bia ansa na be top plot no na nka ye serviced ensure wo ho enyankane wo ho etu si udan we ya na ya connect ama enso se no akoye bibie wo ho papa ka sa wanka akosombo time ayesi akosombo the population of Ghana wasn't up to 6 million Nkrumah see o si Nkrumah ye over ambitious na Ghana ya dodo ya say na akosi akosombo capacity kakra kasai aden o sesika o mu gu na mu asia Nkrumah say what bad brains they are o so ma dini ketekete za no ma eba adwene o say Nkrumah boka o say dabi don't call it debt. These are development ameya eye investment and that has been their style. Now, sebi period as a man is sumina so. We say perifok waka sebi say obi any jini bini ho. Sebi period as a. But you do the fight me. When you do ya ne ho, they like who they are and what they are. And even when there is an assignment a call to duty. Say nyina yen kamom yenya de ma ne nyefe ewo yen sebi yen Nkrumah di mu a de omo ye no ema sebi uhu se ase eya ho ya anya ni na ne di ni ebo anya ni wo fedi o ti se na po describe no mo Kwame Nkrumah no yes eso no be penny my Ghana so adi adi we da ni petri mo Kwame Nkrumah no where I depart from all the analysis I coso no I say you better to the Accra International Airport. I depart. Okay. You from Nkrumah to so. Na you fa koma Accra. Emra no be who say e won kran. The capital city of Ghana. Say the Kwame Nkrumah to so you benya a lot of visits because most of those that come to Ghana no, they don't just come because of the name Ghana. They come to find out what happened with the name Nkrumah. Okay. How it came about, how Nkrumah was able to rise up to the occasion. Why Nkrumah is the shining example.
But okay.
Eti idea we hear me papa. say some be sukura ma moja ba e ma ye nya na kra keke enkrafo omo wo do man kroma papa o say na emebi ye ka obake hwe enye say sabio ye tro akwa abagu ba bia ene kire say ye de twi ana say sabi asante kasa be se brofo anan ana bibi the arguments no mo wezi ye no ye no mo ya adwen the only adwen ye no mo nyane say obake no omo yankranfo na kasa kirekire mu a enche welcome eno pe ena ne ye no mo nya adwen but some wo kasa e kire welcome e kire akwaba e kire wozolo e kire bibia ye betini aka e wo airport anase ba bia wo nkran ha ye ntro a e be ma nkola kora sua de but se wo tiem obake no wo kire mu a ase eye sentence bia enche se akwaba ho no nana amafo nyezi se ekebe yanka gamanche wo hwe no mfa ade a eche akwaba emra na yensom wo mo hu da wo ma mansanti omo ankasa na betire mu kire yen wo ti ase ye de ne kan akwaba fantifo eka akwaba ekua prefo obi aka akwaba your friend is saying agbefo ka wozo anabeboa na odiro na soso akwaba enyesa akwaba etinu mo famo dia eche akwaba mra eno pe ene etwen mo ena ayesa ama for di tizi ena oba ka ni hwan da bi mo die weda eche se akwaba no mo famra yemra bebo hu da wu ama obia ye den ehu ena sa tribal commenter afenyo marking ye no I was say yina ye rebuke ye admonition hwe Nkrumah goes beyond his tribe me yes sure say ama for bon Nkrumah bi Nkrumah the tribe eye Nzima tribe no eba ama for trimintem dabi because he chose Ghana over tribe. Oh, it is only the weak brain and or discuss a tribe. Of course, where Metimiaka say me Ghana ni bi enne from today Metimiaka say feel economy Yugoslavia ni no ma naturalize Metimiaka say me America ni no ma naturalize Metimiaka ba mentimi nka say me nya santini bi John Mahama ontimi nka so onye gonjani biem Nkrumah yentimi nka so onye nzimani afenyo marking yentimi nka so onye igbeni tribe aya dia eye mojemu ade anutino se obi ya arguments na or tie the tribe eye ni arguments a e wo so hu se adwene no wo fom ye ka Ghana asem what has tribe got to do with Ghana? Because answer the yebe fe ye Ghana for no ni nyina ya dia to say whatever your tribe wherever you are from say no yesi ya nyina ya ke ho abom say ye nipa kro akwese na me basa kro wo ye baako enti say ye wo tribes maako wo ha kra na wo Ghana ha efi no kro ni nye tribe asem ye ka Ghana ho asem the history of papa iri too begemu no papa kire mo ma ye hu say kutoka no ye de ni to eye airport no so a enya yiye eye na obi a me mesi me airport say enya gateway ema oman no to and fro say wo ba say wo ko na me no wo bo me ho pa ba ba yimi afiri ho ni wotena na ye be ku wo a ni ye de udi aba beto ayi so say di we kotoka no eye no me ba ko e ka Ghana ho esa say Nkrumah nadaka mrem wo nada edi entina nipa ono ye me dom mudi ni di akwakoto ade fefa me ma yeso Oma we ye sick spiritually. We said the bakubi man. Nkrumah na see Meridian Hotel. Meridian Hotel. The reason why Nkrumah see Meridian Hotel, upa Google say, and from the center of the world. And Meridian Hotel, but Nkrumah the hotel ni see ho as a symbolism say open the center of this world and Yankopon boy ye bra that Meridian Hotel. Go ahead your my Meridian Hotel. Asif him. Now no na me ko na me hu say o mo hya se to war. Se ne be ya amanfo de ho aye we so dru ho a wo hune wo be yare kura. Hotel and Nkrumah see you. One, me see ntimi wu. Upa ko hwe ayo rosa e hihye mu. Underground. Parking. A kofom. Wow. Enka sabi ye your maya. Ya jeje kan sanye if I say put for kana. Any kwasi e wo leader one man we mu a Meridian Hotel aye tantan say. Eti mi am dey ato me ho so a my petition dey akoma president. Say at all costs I was say be ye jai bi bia kra na ye dey come Meridian Hotel ho a I was say ye ni because me feel say one of the spiritual base of our progress. Because say obi benya akoma pa say the Nkrumah nya ye na we see hotel a what the center of the world a sabi equator ya ye kan ho asem ya nkola di suade the center no e wo Ghana ha na Nkrumah be hu say ahanum na ye friend say geographically center of the world ntima me see hotel ko kan say we tree hotel me we fi na me fa
baby agree Meridian fa
yes da na me fa nye enka edum na sabi obi bia owo wiase afa na mu nyina no sempo opeso ohu the center of the world obebo no na hotel bia esi ho kama timesre omampani se emanin ka ya assignment ho
na we cathedral anza cathedral
na adibia na esan ehu bia pa na oka ho asem wo a wonye obi ya na onu dinto
specialist
obu le panzo won ba sika MPP aban adie wo ma wem in the last 8 years no Tom Hama kwa 54 billion animu universities ahodo
na 54
omo esibio omunya 810 billion
too much
omo esiku a university biada omo esiku gabi te say kejetia
sisi na embe to the thing
obi si wie dia yeni nidi to ena secreted them apia menka na ka wo ba na kan si university ya samina ena atu ni di apino university ya
shene ni mi
etio mesre o ma na ya chichire no sometimes fine multi-party democracy allows for say be MPP, NDC, CPP obi answer na adwen but senka ye ja bibia to baby na si ye dwen ye man ho na ya dwen ahwe kan say the fancy pin for kana bi di say nka o man we ke be kra be hwe edu baby a mumi yi ya man yo sem fi the discussion mu MPP eni omo ne so see about MPP anyone ne the MPP of yesterday no any the MPP of today no agreboni nti ene ekura wato mum enti no so wo pese Ghana for mu serious a the NDC for ye man me say the word opposition no I will say it cancels your brain say because we opposition you have to oppose to everything no. Ame mako di opon Nkrumah abaso at least even though waka omo ho wa be kire say eya de pa yeah wo say yes say di no sebi omo ye na nya meka ndi so wa ya de papa ma mi mo na baso yes say di no kutuka na eda airport no so no so we tie history ni pa eti se de sebi wo de wo kura edi ato ba
kakra kura no abo cheche mi
wo de wo kura edi ayeden ato ba enye ebema wa hwe ya abanona entimi nya sadi enwe
meda celisto na me ka o say Safari Valley Eco Resort boy bi papa ahomejebia ampa je ahome wo ho ahomejebia obi so odin foforo wo twi mo ma ye hu San Cranswa o me hu yo yes Safari Valley Eco Resort today me pacho me kan fo am so person discover first luxury eco resort for West Africa. Look no further there would we ni beche mo yes Safari Valley Eco Resort fi say we bra we ni beji papa a 4-star forest lodge we do we ni beji papa nempo surrounding a wildlife ye kan wildlife e chese mbo bia yenta ehu omo fie ehu omo TV so ne ade bi zebra antelope mara mwahu ni nara obehu omo betumi ni omo twitwa emfonyini ene mekeka ho saaso no mo world class accommodation bia yesa ho bia obetumi ada weni beji obenyo private swimming pool ni nyina no e was Safari Valley Eco Resort medical kase 4-star forest lodge resort wodu a weni beji mo bedi ana mehwe continental na local dishes ubenye biedi ye wo electrical vehicles cars ahrowa yetinem wodi fafa how what we hwe how surrounding it ni ade sa na obehu man made man-made water bi ansu bi anipa na abom nso no edam ho a wotumi tena sisimbom tabumbom kanon kitwemu na wodam so a wo hwe ma eko saso na mepacho horseback riding ansa na 9-hole golf omo golf na ti ase 9-hole no obetumi abobi niam bebre na nkasa na ekoso Safari Valley Eco Resort wa weni beji papa ese weni ense de kachero se wo ye wedded wo ye party mo ye conferences ene niam ho day visit bi na okwa wo no dofo bi mfa hwe na weni beji Valentine's Day na ebe esi Saturday next week Saturday afi see to no do for mutumi ko Friday anajo Saturday na mo ho kama pa enko fa boka afi we dey see Saturday enti e dey no. For reservation frame 05969143 94 0596914394 na bibien to men konka Medimosis a day lift kit capsules a dia ba e boy liver no ho ban e busi immune system sa so na niema bia embo eni padua ne be ni ne efi ho a sign food supplement and supplementer wono ma herbal supplement e bo ni padua no enti wutie me a lift kit capsules na ebeboa wo yi papa anadwe didie ene me count etose bia ye may liver ni over time enti pedre ebebo ho ban na aboa na wonya pom kai say pharmacy herbal shops any supermarket na won sabeke be from Medimosis was 0244 06 8447 na uno mundin komo X natural mineral water me pacho bebre yo 350 ml and ya is a bone ya is a bone unya bia FM kwala no payi ye wo 500 ml anini so na ye wo 750 ml say short take akase si oba depo ifie he ya dia babebre nti wo so ebetubi na konom anakoton na wenya mfasodie bebre so na Melcom Mo ansa na ofre factory 0596 273546 0596 273547 na woni penifo ending komo Victory garlic mixture ɛne deɛ hia sɛ mɛka wasɛm bebree wakoma na ɛbɔ pepe ɛyɛ abnormal wɔn nsa no wɔn nan tumi yɛ titiriti na ɔsi kwakwa ne ansi akyɛw anansi yɛ dɛn kyɛw mɛpa akyɛw ɛyɛ ana wɔn so ayɛ kusukusu ɛboa na improve blood circulation ɛma mbogya ne die frusa ne yɛ friend Victory garlic mixture nti wutie mi a for any trim wo bebi ɛtɔn aduro bia wo call super Victory ne bi ɛbɛma obi atɔ nkra ha de open it to a wo kan she can walk herbal and after doctor 020-129-3280 and 0242-545633 na wone omo endi enkomo otwea herbal powder and na list wo ti ane ni agise oti din na ane ni agepa idin ne aduro no honam se me pa cha wo sisi na how koko bema wayembre wo mpem oba abubu wonsa wo hune ye wo libido no wo fom me pa cha bebre stroke kra no wenya bia wonya bi no mebeboa mo apomudin SCP esita a Divine Hope Herbal Center no mo dia bedwaman so ye friend otwea herbal powder enti me pa cha enye na wo gan ha bebi eton aduro bia mo hia no nso hye enye nso hye be popo wanum warm water kakra na odi egum na wabono guma you are good to go. Gapson Pharmacy Kufuria Cap Pharma wo eye sunyani sa so na House of Drugs wa Shaman Boachi and so Kepkos Nana Boachi Herbal Watema PK Gumbela Watamale Fred Doctor was 0591 eye 565 557 and 0550 639 037 na within penny 400 come na BBN to me konkai ye boy a homeboarding enche ya tisa His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wo Zambia one Ghana community no ono mo bedin komonti dwumadie no se eba ne se His Excellency John Dramani Mahama nkomodidi ne baswa ye bekwa akofa na ye disan komone filusaka Zambia e dia bro but yanko e de yetua yankomo no so
ya ahohojebia
yes that is
right ahomejebia mejibi se ahohojebia no
ya ahohojebia na ahomeso no so mo say e koda ho
eno ye rest house ena guest house ene hotel eye ahohojebia rest house eye ahomejebia
na rest house ni bi ni mo e
no so
na me ho difference
say baby o ho a rest small room
ani a motel
small room but just to
remember no kontiem
media
oh ka bibi aka
your friend is saying ma me fa konya we so hwe ade bi ikoso na mesre I say me ya ade na penny frame to me for me tie papa
okay
enti me me to me around ya before say hwe edija wane e dia so enya se mentano for nothing me nye free ni ho but cocoa board e ho hia me papa hwe say yes say egu nipa ni mu ase egu nipa mu fi a wo ne edija wo President Mahama and appointee CMC boss. Well, appointee no. Now we will declare appointee will be Fred. I will be an so MPP ni. And President Mahama in his wisdom no wakofa will be Free World Bank. Yeah, we Ghana ni. And also come and manage the affairs of cocoa marketing company.
Because we here management.
We run the background. I football. Obiani. Yes, who a doctor, who a business background, but we need there any actually any to augment your operation. From the one a president appointment, you were fighting president's appointment when you are a president's appointee. And a man, the Abbas is here and say, Fifi Boafo, and I read Yako. Yes. Fifi Boafo. Oh yes. I have a video.
How much time there no dey?
Fifi Boafo and then Adom
e ka o mabro and then Adom metie on e
run there be and abegina bedroom. Yes.
Yes. Bantano. Na me.
Go buy and abeg cocoa board.
Wakofa Fifi Boafo.
Yes.
Na Fifi Boafo ne bo ahin na enya ka tutudo no mde edigu cocoa.
And kotie Fifi Boafo. E wa Adom.
I listened.
Ono say CMC boss no any round you Jerome came in to explain say no omo ni ntokwa bia see e ka de one na kwa round mom and from the one a president aya appointment now all fight against president's appointment Randy Abi Oh, mempe say ebe se bia etire bi na poku asema no wa da bi. Obi afantu no wo because obi a won chechiremu wa hwe ya chire wa asemu a wo ga na kwa ntimi mpia bontin biem. Because your mouth 200 one of the catcher Ghana for say abanda dano at the $263 million ekwa 150,000 hectares of cocoa farm rehabilitation. Who have the catcher yen? Ebane say na uba ya wunti obia.
Nana yanko yenim honorable
256 million eskakase o because o yembe show.
Nana yanko ye.
Le hu say we yati obi akokoba.
Okay.
And Coco Boswati, Yentimi Coco, no,
I call be my Sulusaka, Zambia. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Asia, a Ghana community or more Zambia. Young Konin Kutin Komoba on your mobile. Bia. And no na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is sure Mika say the Minister in charge of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa no address a Ghanaian community on more Zambia and more muye Juma more moteho na Ghana community ne sure mo Okaseria His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Bekasa ya boy homebody say benya sound no ba ye behwe na yatu ankomo bon so ne hu ma eko nti ye dwuma na
community ewo Zambia na omudo so say ina me say
ama
bebrama emedi ekoye program bi wo Yugoslavia. The Ghanaian community in Yugoslavia, we show. We say, I then Ghana need betimi afani passport say me ko Yugoslavia.
And then tell in Slovenia.
Then Ghana need betimi ko Finland, Iceland,
Ecuador now.
She negative weather condition, coldness no.
Me no kase ko Alaska. Ghana ni wa ha, obe hu Ghana ni obe pi Alaska.
Say
only the engineer
we are professional.
Wana workers naka your countryman is here. Papua New Guinea. Panama na ni akofre na aba. Chale
Panama in Ghana. Ghana phone ka fire transfer. Ni me ma free Brazil akofa Panama. Costa Rica, Puerto Rico. Me da say. Yamboso kakra me kwa na man kebi de. Over the weekend NPP the New Patriotic Party kakra bi. Japan asofu na 85.9.
Asofu for the well, say obi so come na dem. Iti enu de ho say na chacha wum. Na America Canada Japan de no other platforms makase ye tricky NPP for no. Say ye dey say we buy ya can Japan buy ya ko be hadwin. And honestly, need some kanye the way of CDD attempt ade. But you can't take it away from him say the youth no they like him. Because of they have the perception say on no bar creative jobs.
A wrong perception.
Yes. And a no nonsense man. And you know nka ono be ha on to me next election there coin bia so be fa bia obolusu. Number 1 ya tricky your mom can say jama NDC for you na support Baumia. And yes I don be kwa fa Baumia ba and your masem. Na Baumia pardon say inflation. I drop it to 3.8 for the past 27 years.
Serious. Baby didn't say your friend is a calabule no. I see a clever bully. Ne cano calabule.
Clever.
Adore.
David, Mama, very careful. Me say government
no more enforcing.
David, you see inflation. Inflation and your deflation. Inflation and your zero. And you expect to say prices a drop. You can't deflation and say prices drop one a drop.
What's the point?
Yes, Anna. So
baby, a bit in deflation.
Yes, a code deflation, the economy will crash. It is not a good thing in economics. It's just inflation no minimum a coffin. The rate of rise of prices the cost no and it's just the prices at Timber firm. I don't understand. because say MPP no one or hyperinflation. Now price ni kwa na ekosro. Price ni kwa na ekosro. Uko jadi no a obewana price no ehwitwi. And they say no you be about 54. And yes sustainable. And if you have modena na ina ba 3.8. And it's just a price in rise you. No you know, for the whole year no. Now price rise only by 3.8. Just a price is stable. Now so say be a caso a market from Timothy and Yama issue entity prices. So that's not how the economics is teaching us.
Okay.
Yes, inflation or national and no deflation. And it's a price is stable. That is fine in economic terms.
Okay. Listo. MPP say mo be kebi na bibini ayem what yeta
we dey manin Zambia be twanitia baby am can say there is a difference between MPP and NDC. It's answer maso ensuo na maso answer time na me NDC for no na me perception about them no na ma adwen yam say omunni omo wo school enwo masua nimdie papa ya oti enchen MPP ni obi a wote se
no honorable
sebi oye engineer ewo the field of
engineer
sea ship ebi MPP ni na so na me kan me kira the difference between an MPP digital doctor any MPP NDC economics doctor. Auto forcing is the difference. And yet, by when paying any auto forcing, I will be Biamu, Yansamu, Yamayan, and yet, by when paying. There's a number when paying auto forcing. With the paying wine, I will NDC and ne. The domain now, if you watch it. Una maye no enioma wo kan ye adokodoko semu a eni owo teche ma udi nu Ghana fo asu e wo lectures mu ma Ghana fo nya gidie se wo de wo ba ahwa dollar ne kura no sidi ne benya hode a chen no e got to a point na ebedifo sika ahye ya omo de ka enti eni panu mo ko gina yi Sabi bakukura ni wa owo bobia obetimi de 2 NDC na omo asa akwakofa kankan mi asa ba de ene ba omi abedi amia papa na ni di no ene ne honam se ba omi wadi amia obese di amia se kamia dokuno
Okay, inti yebeda se papa yeti listo nanapoku enka listo ono no executive director de Magag yeba honorable Peter Yakwachiaka oye former NDCNP edema Amenfi Central ono so ba dwumedi so ekukuda mienu na meni omudi dwuma me amedi dwumedi ho chia me ye from Nicholas ya owusi osen yes historian pa from Nicholas ya owusi osen obetumi aframe ke Nicholas mama musi akra kofida akone eye poma checheku e the news papa ina kande brain ma memfa na sekese emfema team nina say news no no yebekọ Lusaka Zambia na abra His Excellency John Dramani Mahama we share Ghana community of Zambia so eti nkomobo a ekoso ho aha na ejidwumedi ni se nyamenka obi ahụ ebe share da bi bye bye.